Hello, welcome to episode 48 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I am Margaret.
I am Jack.
And hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
How's everybody out there?
How's the entity? I know it's
how's
one
the
step
squad?
closer.
How's the
so-
squadlings?
Yeah.
The squaddy bees.
You know what? I was like, we always plan how we're going to say the Eldritch Podblast, and I was like, let's just say it normally
Yeah.
for this one, and then I go in with that.
There's a reason why you want to say it normal, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Why?
It's because there's a chance that there might be some new people watching this.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to scare them off, and yet here we are.
Why might new people be watching this, Margaret?
Well, it's because we're trying a new thing. We're trying a new series.
What's
And,
it called?
It's called D&D 101.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. We're working on a better name for it than that.
No, D&D 101's pretty cool.
I actually came up with loads of names last night. I forgot to run them past you.
Oh. Do you want to run past me right now?
Yeah, I had loads.
Let's
Hold
go.
on, let me see. Jack, fill the silence while I find this, please.
I'll just pat my dog until he stops licking himself.
I don't know if that's necessarily filling
There
the
we
silence.
go. Well, no,
but-
I commentated about me doing it.
Right.
So I did technically fill the silence.
Well,
There was technically no silence.
there was technically no silence.
You didn't hear any silence.
I see. Hold on, let me
Okay. Are
let
we
me get
close?
some open.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
Tell me.
Is this newbie friendly? Is this
Probably
new
not.
people to the
But
channel
we've
friendly?
never really been newbie friendly.
So, some names that
Body
I came up
wants to-
No! We're definitely going to get copyright struck for that.
Okay.
So, these were some that I came up with from basically putting into a name generator
Yeah.
all the different words that I wanted in it.
Yeah,
and it
okay.
spat some of these out.
Go on
So, there's... Oh, no, I'm really shy now.
No, go on.
D&D Simplified.
Okay.
Roll and Learn.
Roll and learn. Okay.
The Quest Starter Pack.
Okay.
D&D Boot Camp.
D&D boot
I didn't
camp.
put boot camp into the generator.
Boot
I don't know why it came out with
D&D
boot,
boot
camp.
camp.
Dice, Dragons, and Discovery. Triple D.
Dice, Dragon, and Discovery.
Dungeons and Dragons Demystified.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
There's two more.
I don't mind Dungeons & Dragons Demystified.
Zero to Hero.
See what
And then
heroes are.
finally, Adventurers Academy.
Adventurers Academy.
What do you
That's
think?
pretty cute.
Can you tell what the keywords I put in were? D&D. Dragon, Dungeon, Dice, and Adventurer.
What's your favourite on there?
I don't know.
D&D Demystified's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mouthful. Though.
Yeah, do you give him with the triple D? But I'm sure that joke's been made loads of times. I kind of like Adventurers Academy.
Adventurers Academy's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Should we call it Adventurers Academy?
I don't know. I'm a little bit shy now.
Well, it's either going to be called D&D 101,
Yep.
Adventurers Academy, or D&D Demystified.
Yeah.
There we go. Welcome to all three of those right now.
Do you like how it just spat out D&D Boot Camp?
I liked Dice, Dragons, and what?
Discovery.
Dice, Dragons, and
Come on. Dice, Dragons, and Discovery. So what do you think? You know what, I like... yeah.
I'd ask you for your choice, but by the time this goes up, the
We're not
choice is
going to
already
know.
be made,
So we've made it.
fuck your opinion. And I swore.
So maybe I'll cut this out. I don't know. Who knows? If this remains in, it's to be seen. So, yeah. Hi.
How's it going?
I hope everyone is having a wonderful Thursday or whatever day you're watching this on now.
Yeah.
We're back-to-back filming. I just had a chocolate pot.
You had a chocky pot
Feeling good.
and half a pretzel.
Yep, feeling funky and fresh.
You're gonna order a curry later.
I'm gonna order curry later. I think that's a good day. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
How's the
Getting
dog?
stuck in this. He's wandering.
He's having a little
He's
wander.
having a little bit of a wander.
What's on the agenda, Margaret?
Are we jumping straight into the agenda?
We gotta jump into the agenda.
I'm trying to think if we have any life updates for you.
Well, yeah, those the life updates. We had a chocky pot and had a pencil.
Yeah, that's the life update.
That's everything we did between the last episode and this one.
Yeah, I don't think. To be honest, I don't think there is actually any more updates.
No,
because as you know, we tell you everything on Monday's episode.
Yeah, of course we do.
And then
everyone likes to get the update on the Monday episode.
yeah, that's in that.
And then we end up doing actually less content on that episode, and then more content on this episode and less talking.
Yeah. You know, that's just how it is. All right.
That's how Thursdays are. So get down with it.
That's how Thursdays are. Thursdays have a bit of
some ramblings for you.
Yeah, we have a bit of a crazed look in our eye on Thursdays, but that's fine. Oh my God, go on. Give him the. Oh. Oh, no. Everyone disliked that.
No, they didn't. Everyone loves it when I do that.
You know, in that game, what is it? It's like everyone disliked that.
No.
Give him a mad dog. Go on.
Him with it.
Yeah.
Mad dogging him.
Mad dogging him. You do like to mad dog him.
I do like to mad dog him.
You do like to mad dog him. You do like a good stare.
I do like a good stare.
Yeah. Well, before we go any further, we have a very important announcement.
Yes, a rather important
It's
announcement.
quite an important announcement, and I'm sure you will agree. We have had intel from the top down.
We've had insider knowledge.
We've had insider knowledge that it's someone's birthday today.
Yeah.
Someone important's birthday today.
Someone important.
It's only John's birthday.
John's birthday.
Happy birthday, John.
John is one of the OG people in this channel.
Oh, geez,
one of the first people.
Sorry,
I've already sworn as well. Don't worry, I'll do that.
Thank you.
John is one of the first people who ever subscribed to this channel, and he's been around since the beginning.
Yep.
And we just wanted to say that today's his birthday, so I wanted to say happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John. We hope you have a wonderful day.
Everybody in the Discord, wish John a happy birthday.
Please.
Everybody in the comments, wish John a happy birthday.
Yep.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John. Hope you have a wonderful day.
I hope you have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much for always being here with us.
You're always one of the first people to comment.
You are. You contest for that first comment spot every single time.
Dwight and
on Jerry. And you'll fight to the death for that first comment.
Fight every week.
Yeah. So we really appreciate you, John.
We appreciate you.
John has made such a big impact in the community already.
Yeah, he was the first person to run a campaign.
First DM out there to go ahead and start a campaign and put that out there.
Yeah.
And it's, from what we've heard, it's an amazing campaign. Yeah. Everyone is really enjoying it. You are a great person. Thank you for being here, and happy birthday.
And we love you very much.
We love you very much. Thank you, John.
So thanks, John.
So that's the important announcement over.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go.
Yep. Bye. So, a couple of things today. So, shall we go, you know what? We'll do meme time.
Professional
podcaster. We'll go straight into meme time.
We'll do some meme time.
Let's go into
and then what we're doing after that?
Well, what we have in the agenda for you today is we're going to go through meme time. We're going to go through the Homebrew Winner Challenge of number 2 for the World Primer.
Challenge 2. Challenge 3 is up right now.
Yep.
You've got until the 3rd of July to get your submissions in.
Yep. It is for a
simple ranged
weapon with a theme moon. And then we'll go over some D&D 101 stuff. So, yeah, you know what? We'll just get into meme time.
Meme time.
Roll the clip.
Hello, Squad Blasters.
Do you like meme time?
Meme time.
Meme time?
Hallelujah.
10 seconds.
That'll about do.
Meme time!
We always guess that 10 seconds.
Yeah, we should really look and get the 10. That felt like a lifetime.
I always look at you and you just start dancing and I'm like, well,
here we go.
Now.
That felt like a lifetime. I felt like I was moving my body for a lifetime.
Meme time.
Meme time. Meme time. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So, starting out strong. And we've got... So not last meme time, and never again, by the way, 2 meme times ago, I absolutely fucking threw my life out of the window by headbanging too hard.
Good God.
I watched it back, and it was like I put the clip in like 4 times speed.
Yeah,
it was headbanging
insane.
So fast. It was disgusting.
I haven't seen you headbang like that, even at a gig.
No, honestly,
Ever.
I don't.
Ever.
I really don't.
Ever in my life.
I went hard for you.
She went hard for you.
I went hard for you.
She actually went too hard. And if this meme doesn't exactly illustrate... Is this living in the moment?
Yeah,
okay.
Living in the moment, and then afterwards...
Instant regret.
The stars,
that one!
It's the stars swirling above my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, this formatted a bit different on my iPad, but it's the stars swirling above my head.
So funny.
And it's just the way I'm like... You can tell I've just finished and I'm like... What
a mistake.
Oh, what a mistake.
What a mistake.
And that fucked me up for the whole rest of that episode.
Yeah. We had to stop the podcast.
We had to stop so I could take 5 minutes.
Could take 5 minutes.
Yeah, because I messed myself up so bad.
You did.
And you know what? The amount of people afterwards who were like, headbanging after 30 is a medical risk.
Yeah.
I'm not even 30 yet.
Not even 30.
Not even 30.
I would say after about 25.
Yeah, too much.
You're taking a risk after 25, and after 30, it's almost a death sentence.
Yeah, it is truly.
It's almost unforgivable.
Yeah, it is. I nearly threw up. It was way too much. And I'm sat here in my own home, you know? So, to be honest, on the same topic of
This is what I thought you were talking about. Living in the moment. Absolutely, I'm not going to do it. I can't.
Go on. Oh.
I can't. It's too much.
God.
And then instant regret. If that isn't regret. The story of my life, I'm like YOLO, and I do something, and I get there, and I'm like,
man.
Oh, why have I done this?
Why have I done this to myself?
Why have I done this? Because I am a perfect mix of I don't do anything I don't want to do. However, I do get really bad FOMO for a couple of things. Yeah. I'm getting better with it as I get older.
Yeah, I think you do get better with FOMO as you get. Just generally.
You
just realise that, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, don't really matter, does it?
I've never really... I used to have bad FOMO when I was a kid, but I think... I don't know. I got it quite early, like when I was about 20.
Yeah.
Just fucking gave up. I've given up for about 9 years now.
Can't relate.
Given up.
Yeah, just giving up. That's it. Body in earth. That's the end.
That's the end of it.
Goodbye. Good night.
What's the next one?
And the next one is, you've been getting a lot of the dog recently.
Yeah, you've been getting a lot of the dog.
I think that was the third episode that you'd got the dog in.
Yeah, you've had Bully 3 times.
Yeah, and we just get hit with the unrestful. Because you have a meme of you with that laser eyes going unrestful.
This is more impactful.
Yeah, this is totally more impactful.
Way
absolutely,
more impactful.
Totally. There was also an honourable mention for this exact photo. It was Harrison posted it and was like, he has opinions he wants to share.
He has opinions he wants to share.
Any meme with our dog, top tier.
Yeah, S-tier meme.
S-tier meme.
S-tier memes.
We are a sucker for this stupid furry little rat.
We do. We love him very much. This burden that is Bully.
Yep. Unrestful. The next one is, you all know it. We all know it. Jack's rancid vibes.
I am rancid vibes.
He's the rancid man.
I am the rancid man who gives the rancid vibes.
We were talking about wanting to make a rancid vibes t-shirt, and I'm pretty sure you meant with this exact
something
font.
like that font.
And we get hit with this in the Discord. Rancid vibes.
Hit him with a rancid vibe.
I like the little Podblast logo in the corner as well.
Yeah, repping the potty B.
Rancid vibes. You look like you're like
old man yells at cloud.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah, you look like you're like at a football match.
Yeah,
and you're like
giving it some.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
giving it some.
You look like you're giving it some.
I'm giving it some.
To be honest, yeah. I wonder where that came from.
I'm giving it to him real hard.
Yeah, you are. You're showing him.
I'm showing him.
You're showing him. Rancid vibes. On sale now.
I wish. Yeah. We will.
Yeah.
It will come.
We will do a
that
Rancid
will be the
Vibes
next
t-shirt.
Rancid Vibes.
100%.
Attack the Unaware.
Yep. Oh my God, was it TPZ? TPZ in the watch party made such a great suggestion for the mug. So Seffi made the suggestion of a mug that says restful and unrestful on the other side. Yeah. TPZ said, you should do it so it's one of the color changing mugs.
Yeah, so it's restful normally.
Yeah, and then when you put the hot in it, it gets restful.
It gets unrestful.
Unrestful.
Yeah, it gets the un in front of the restful.
Yeah, awesome.
I don't know how to do that though.
Easily done.
Do you think?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I have to sell that then.
Yeah, easily done.
I have to shill that.
Yep, love that. Thanks guys for hitting us with merch suggestions, and you're the best. We couldn't do it without you.
Well, you want to buy it, so...
Yeah, so we are only here to serve, We
are here to serve.
Oh, that was so loud.
That wasn't that loud.
I
can do it louder.
No, please, God, please, no. And then
watch out, you.
The final meme, Ellie sent this.
This is so funny.
And she was like, this reminds me of Rayla.
Yeah,
100%. Us. Softly whimpers into your ear. Okay, get out. If that isn't
okay, get out.
Rayla and Priestess's relationship down to a T, that absolutely encapsulates their relationship. Softly whimpers it. Okay, get out.
Okay, get out.
That mean there's two wolves inside of you. Yep.
Yeah.
Amen.
100%.
Amen. I love it. That Rayla is some weird person on the internet.
Yes, she is.
Pretending to softly whimper into your ear. And also, hello, my dear. We do that so much.
Hello, my dear.
After that, we use wolf voice and hello, my dear.
Hello, my dear.
So much in our daily lives. So thanks, memers. Thanks for
meme
that.
lords.
They're good.
There's a lot of memers in the Discord.
There's a lot of memers in the Discord.
We haven't got to them yet, but we released Monday's episode yesterday because we recorded on Tuesday.
Yeah,
and that was last week's. My God, the memes that have come out of that episode.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Some
they
people
are
be working hard.
So funny. You'll be working overtime. How are you doing? Take a rest.
As long as you're enjoying yourselves.
Entity. make them take a rest.
One step closer.
One step closer. It is behind you.
It's right behind you.
Just so you know.
Just so you know.
Don't worry.
I can see it.
It's a friend, not foe.
Even though it is very cold.
And makes very strange noises.
Give me the noise. Oh my god. Why is that the noise?
Can anyone hear that?
Yes, I'm telling you right now it is.
It's like that noise of the creepy dude in Minecraft.
Which creepy dude? What, the creepers?
Is it no, is it the Enderman?
Minceman.
Minceman? Who's Minceman?
Mincecraft.
Mincecraft. Mincecraft and chill.
Mincecraft and chill. Minceman.
Mincecraft.
The Enderman.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a bit creepy.
Like. They're the ones that are like, what do you think? Okay.
Silence falls.
Across the land.
Right, what's next?
Okay. Next. We've got meme time, so.
Meme time is over.
Oh. Yep. God, this is some really chaotic energy. Anyone who's new to this video, sorry. I am not sorry in the slightest.
Yeah, we're always like this. I apologize.
I apologize deeply.
You know when you meet someone new and your family's like, don't embarrass us,
yeah.
and then you go and embarrass them. It's like we're doing that to ourselves right now.
I aim to embarrass.
Yes.
I don't really.
No.
Nah.
No.
I don't think so.
No. You're not very embarrassing.
Did you laugh?
I didn't laugh.
What was the laugh for?
You're not.
Why did you laugh?
Yeah. Anyway.
You said what I wanted to hear, but you laughed.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we're running out of time. It's the next topic on the agenda.
But you laughed.
So, shall we move on? Entity. Consume him.
Me?
Yeah. So, shall we move on to the World Primer winners? Shall we just do it?
What's the World Primer?
So,
what's this from?
Our Homebrew challenge, if you don't know what it is.
Go on.
Every other week, we announce a new challenge that fits under a theme, and each theme has 4 challenges. We are currently on to number 3.
Of the first ever theme.
Which is Moon, obviously.
Moon.
And the current challenge right now is for a simple ranged weapon.
Yeah.
And the winners we're going to go over is for the World Primer on the theme Moon.
If you want to take part in the current Homebrew challenge, you have until the 3rd of July, Monday coming up, to get your submissions in the Discord under the Homebrew forum. Join the Discord in the link down below.
Yep. I'll put a QR. Here you go. I'll put a QR code up for you.
I'll put it in the chat just so you remember to do it.
There you go. There's a QR code. Scan it if you want to. You don't have to.
No, you have to.
You have to. You're legally binded. We have your blood. So,
I have your blood.
Yep. If you would like to take part, there is a whole Homebrew challenge channel in the Discord. Please join. So we have once again done 2 runner-ups and a winner because. Once again, we were only supposed to be picking 1 winner, but last time we announced the winners, so many of you entered, and every single one of you posted such a unique, amazing, wonderfully crafted item.
I'm going to be surprised. I was very surprised that there was more people for the Homebrew challenge than there was for the simple melee weapon, because it is so much harder to make a simple melee
for the world primer,
for a world primer than a simple melee weapon.
I completely agree. Although, we said it last time, like, It depends what you like.
It depends what you're good at as well. Yeah,
it depends what you're good at.
Like, it's awesome to see that more people.
People
took part again.
Truly,
so that's
really
amazing.
So,
and you're also creative, and we read every single one of them. And trust me, if we could read them all out,
oh my god, we would.
100%.
The
podcast will be 46 hours long.
Yeah,
and I know you want that, but I don't have that time.
Simply.
Okay?
So Knuckle Sammy for you.
Knuckle Sandwich for you.
Nookie Sammy.
Nookie Sammy.
So, seriously, genuinely. Like, especially for the World Primer. World Primers, you have to set up a world. It's a whole thing having to do a World Primer.
Yeah.
And the fact that so many of you wanted to and so many of you did, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're so appreciative.
You're so awesome.
And
you. You're awesome.
You're so good.
Tell them who won. Tell them who ran up.
So, shall we go from the runners up?
Yeah, of course we do.
Yeah, okay. So, the first runner up. This has been sent in by Poddy, and he goes by he, him.
Yes.
Hasn't left any socials, so we'll just go into it. Are we ready?
Yeah, of course
I'm going to mess this up so bad.
Born ready, baby. Couldn't be any more ready.
Kaleidoscopic colours swirl and coalesce around a point, travelling through the void. The cosmic energy materialised around the dot at a painfully slow pace at the beginning. However, like an orchestra building an overture, it could not be stopped once it began. No, it could be stopped, but the void loves its own and would not be denied. It wouldn't be right. Once music starts, it should not be interrupted, and this piece will have its crescendo. The strings of energy build and twine together, humming a peaceful tune as they work to tie together the knots of fate. The brass of mass takes a cue from the strings that their part is almost here to play. They begin to covenantly bind together around the dot, thrumming with power and adding their harmony into the piece. Taking the cue, the drums thunder in. The heartbeat and the clap of this majestic being pumps the lifeblood of this most heavenly song to all parts of the entity. She stirs. With the overture nearing completion, the final addition is added. The mind. It wakes. Suddenly, her heartbeat increases. The speed of her song rises exponentially. All her experiences, plights, and identity flood into her awakening mind. She is Kaguya, Empress of the Moon. She remembers now. Her mortal shell was destroyed. In her dying moments, she flung her core across the void, hoping for the chance of revenge against those who betrayed her. Bahamut and the paltry pantheon that stood against her. She will be vindicated. She will rule once again. None will stand against her. She immediately sets off towards Shiro, her once grandiose palace upon Luna. She wonders what has become of it, and her thoughts also drift to her own pantheon. Do any survive? No matter. The conductor has returned to her orchestra, and all will hear her song. Fucking Jesus Christ. Sorry, I stumbled on my own words a couple of times there.
Don't worry about it.
Man.
That's insane.
That fucking slaps.
It's unreal, isn't it?
That, oh my God, I've got goosebumps. That is so incredibly well written, by the way.
Amazingly written.
And like comparing like an orchestra to like the way that a body is formed and like
a
the
reawakening.
Yeah. Oh my God, amazing. And then Poddy finishes off with like the setting. So just a bit of a description of what this was.
Yeah.
I took the primer to be very open-ended and created Kaguya with that in mind. Ultimately, she is the BBEG, and the DM can bring her pantheon back and create gods versus gods in a party situation. Perhaps they will fight her on the moon on this palace Shiro and pick up artifacts along the way to fight and be rewarded with. Ultimately, this was for people to play, so I left it open-ended. I hope you enjoy. I didn't quite follow the template given, but I tried to include that within the primer itself. And all content can be used by whomever for whatever.
Just so you know, you do not really need to stick to the template. The template is just there.
No, yeah.
So if you want like a bit of guidance, you can have it. But you know, as long as it's not like, you know, 1,000 million words long, so we can fit it into the podcast. That's all we require. So Poddy. That's unreal.
Your storytelling there. And you know what? I do. Poddy mentions himself. He left it really open-ended.
Yeah.
And I like that. It's like you get a setting and you get an idea for the BBEG. Okay, she was destroyed. She's built herself back together.
How did she build herself back together? Like, these are the things that the players can find out.
Yeah, does her pantheon still survive?
Is it her pantheon that have built her back together?
Is the pantheon that destroyed her still surviving?
Is it one member of the pantheon? Is it the pantheon's like back together, living on the moon, just piecing her together?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Why was she banished in the first place?
Yeah, what did she do wrong?
Yeah, what happened? I absolutely love that. If that doesn't get the juices flowing, I don't know what does.
That gets my juices flowing.
Yeah, that gets my juices flowing too. That gets my waters moving. Water's sloshing.
The waters be sloshing.
Yeah, the waters do be sloshing up in here.
The waters be sloshing.
Yeah, Poddy, wow, what a word picture you painted for us there. That's beautiful.
That's impressive.
Absolutely.
You should be proud of yourself. That's really good.
Truly, 100%. That's amazing.
This was really hard to pick between this challenge.
All of these were so hard to pick.
I think there was almost a split decision between me and Margaret. I think we came to an agreement at the end, but it was tough.
Yeah, it was truly, even narrowing it down, we couldn't even narrow it down to 3.
Yeah, we struggled to narrow it down to 3.
It was hard.
Who's next?
Who's next? So, this has been sent in by Spider Q, and they go by any pronouns, and once again, didn't leave any socials. So, the primer story. A total lunar eclipse is an event where Argenta, the moon goddess, chooses to step briefly out of the mortal realm, an occasion that has the world gathered, eager to witness this breathtaking event and to pray for Argenta's safe journey. But as the moon was silhouetted by the sun and it turned a bloody red, its form began to melt and distort until the inky blackness of the night sky swallowed it up entirely. In the days that followed, people everywhere found that Argenta was no longer responding to their prayers. None of the gods knew what had become of her, and though the sun still hung in the sky for now, her husband, the sun god Orym, soon became unreachable too. Those who attempted to do so heard only anguished cries in response. So the description of the world. Vivint is a traditional fantasy world typical of most D&D campaigns with high magic and low technology. Now the immediate mission. A week ago, the moon and her goddess vanished during a lunar eclipse, and her husband, the sun god, went MIA. Now their daughter, the ocean goddess, Mare, has disappeared as well, and the tides no longer rise and fall as they should. In response, you've been called upon to investigate their disappearance and restore order to the natural world. And finally, other relevant lore. Vivint has a pantheon of gods, most of whom reside in a realm outside of ours. There are distant gods and rule over more abstract domains such as love, sleep, or death. There also exist a fair few who spend most of their time in the mortal realm, known as the kindred gods. They rule over aspects of nature and are more akin to personifications of their domains. The capabilities may ebb and flow along with the state of their domains accordingly, but they tend to be easier to contact compared to the more distant gods. The moon, sun, and ocean gods are all kindred gods. Finally, used for consent by others, yes. Man, I love the drama of that.
Such drama.
I love the drama.
Such drama.
Man, you know what? I love the fact that the idea of these realms, there's like love and sleep and death, and then there's the sun and the moon and the tides. I love
it's great,
that.
Isn't it?
I absolutely love that. That is something.
I think there's a lot of rich lore there already within just like a small description.
Oh my god, completely agreed.
Fantastic. It's like where? Why did you go? Why was it blood red? Where is it gone?
Yeah, like
now the goddess of the sea's gone as well. Why?
And it's also like, why does Argenta step out? Why does this happen? Like in a total. Why does it happen?
Yeah.
And then why, just because she's missing, does the sun god go missing as well? Like
after the baleful cries.
Yeah. And then as well as that, their daughter has also gone missing. Like, have they left?
It's like, imagine going to see like one of the priests or the followers of the sun god and like asking them like, so you prayed to the sun god like after it happened. So you heard like the cries and just getting that story of like,
oh, we got the dog. Oh, I don't know if you can see him.
No,
I think he might be.
I think he's very, very much encompassing almost all of the screen here. What are you doing?
Oh, what are you doing, Oni? Did you want to? Oh no, he's on the table. No, please don't get on the table.
Come on, get down.
Oh my god. No, please.
Don't get on. Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, I know.
Did you want to come congratulate the winners,
Did you want to congratulate the winners?
Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah, Talon and Spider were a very good job. I really like the story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Is that it?
Do you have opinions you want to share?
Do you have opinions you want to share?
Very good.
Don't go any further. You're gonna fall.
You are gonna fall.
Come on.
Okay, dog's down.
The dog is now on the chair.
But yeah, like I also think, in game, imagine if none of you had been able to contact the sun god yet, right? And you do go to a priest and the priest hasn't done it yet either. And then you just hear in return, in real time, the priest hearing these cries. Man.
Yeah.
Haunting. I love that. Where'd she go?
Where'd she go?
Why'd she go? Why red? Why did it melt?
I like the lore between the different gods as well.
Me too.
I think that's nicely thought out.
I do as well.
That there are some gods that sort of embody their thing that they watch over or something like that are far more reachable.
Yes, definitely.
Gods. And then there's like gods that like sit further back
and
just rule from like an arbitrary rule.
Yeah, and like the idea that their capabilities like ebb and flow. And it's like like in the natural world, that is how it works.
I think like a lot of people, when they think of gods, they just think that they have to be these like almighty, holier than thou sort of things. Yeah. And I like the different take of being like, like gods are amazing at like some things, especially what they like are meant to be good at. Like their abilities ebb and flow like with the seasons and things like that, and with the, like the nighttime and the daytime, like a goddess of the moon isn't particularly useful within the day and things like that. I like that. I don't like gods just being this sort of like untouchable.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Thing. So
I agree.
I like it. It's really cool.
Yeah, I
really
I love
well
that. I feel like there is so much rich lore in there as well already, and I would love playing in something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
That is exactly the type of campaign I would like to play in.
Well, you should write one maybe.
No. Shan't. But I do like that. And again, Poddy and Spider have both said, like, absolutely, please go ahead and use these.
Take those if you want them.
Yep, take them if you want them. If you also love the sound of them, there you go.
There's a world primer.
Yeah, there's a world primer.
There's a beginning that you
wonderful
can
world primers.
Expand on.
And I like how these two, again, how different are both of these, and the winner as well, very different.
I like how both of the moons are like badass women.
Oh, I know.
Just cool, isn't it?
That I know that is absolutely.
We like a strong, powerful woman here.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. Absolutely fucking slaps.
Live for it.
So, shall we get on to the World Primer winner?
Go on then.
It was so fucking hard picking. You can tell that's the caliber of what we'd gotten. By the way,
between the three of these, it was almost impossible.
Yeah. Well, again, I would say that caliber extends to everything we read. And we read everything.
Of course we did.
So,
every submission.
The winner of challenge number 2, a world primer for the theme moon, goes to Reverend Zach.
Reverend Zach. I was like...
Oh, do you think I was clapping you out? Oh, congratulations. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's XAQ.
Yeah. Reverend Zach.
That's
what I was thinking.
I'm so sorry, but
and if you want to head to the Discord and read all the submissions for the first challenge there, all the submissions for the second challenge there, and I must say it was almost impossible. I have to say,
I truly would recommend
so many great ones
going through and reading every single one of them because they were all amazing
and they're all different in their own way, which is so cool.
So I'm just going to call you Reverend if that's okay. So Reverend's pronouns are he, him. He has left a link tree to all of its socials below. So I will of course leave that in the link below.
Yeah.
Please go ahead and check out Reverend's socials. And let's just get into it.
Yes.
So the world name and the primer story is Final Cycle of the Lavender Moon. Now a quick description of the world. This lore/world event bit can fit into any other setting or homebrew. Event. An older but wildly familiar folktale speaks of the final cycle of the lavender moon. In the tale, one cool night, the full moon shone with a beautiful lavender hue. Each evening in the moon's cycle, the colour of the moon became richer and richer purple, along with the increasingly strange world's shifting calamity. Rivers reversed direction, seas boiled, days got longer, and for a fortnight the moon continued its cycle and became darker and darker purple until the night of the new moon, when the moon can't be seen. And that was the last anyone saw of the moon for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years after that, there was no night to speak of. But of course, this is just folklore. Stories that are hundreds of years old from times hundreds of years before that. There's no reason to believe that this story was ever meant for anything other than a tale to teach children to respect the living world and the gods who built it. There has never been a shred of evidence to prove otherwise. But tonight is a calm, cool night, and the moon is shining with a beautiful lavender glow. I got
shivers down my fucking neck.
Intense goosebumps.
That to me tells me you understand. You just know how to tell a story.
Yeah, God, that nearly
that at the end there. It's like, but it's just folklore.
Yeah, just folklore.
Tales passed down of generations of people.
Hundreds of years old. There's no evidence.
But tonight, the cool dark night,
man,
the moon sits in the sky with a beautiful lavender glow. Come on,
Jesus!
Tell me you know how to tell a story.
That is spectacular storytelling.
That's beautiful.
That is absolutely professionally written. I think that gave me chills.
I love like in terms of like D&D, like folk tales and folk stories and things like that.
Yeah,
like the things that go bump in the night, the tales of creatures that they can't be real because of this and that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I based my entire campaign off Norse mythology because I just love stories of creatures and things and worlds like that. It's like a whole story based off of like a folklore.
I know, and you know what? It's like kind of like tongue in cheek, right?
Yeah.
Like the way it ends being like, but tonight, I love that. And Reverend has also said, I consent to the use of this idea by the TTRPG community at large. So what a wonderful,
what is it
perfect
called? The final cycle of
the lavender moon. You know what?
Why is it lavender?
Why is it lavender? Why?
Tell me.
Why? And I also think like how whimsical. I love the name.
I love the name. I think the name is
the Lavender
unreal.
Moon. I absolutely love that.
Final cycle of the Lavender
Moon. You know
Moon.
what? Like the actual effect of it, River's reverse direction.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's so scary to me.
Scary.
That's terrifying. Seas boiled.
Yeah.
Days got longer. There was no night for 1,000 years.
It's like the long lasting of like that's a great world setting.
Yeah.
Like, can we get the moon back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there a way to reinstate the moon in the sky?
Well, the moon is back. That's the thing. Obviously, the moon's back because it's shining.
No, it's not back.
Yeah, tonight is a calm, cool night and the moon is shining with a beautiful lavender glow.
Yeah, no, that's the beginning of the end. So the whole point is the final cycle of the lavender moon, it sits in the sky with a lavender hue, then gets more and more purple to the point where it disappears into the night sky.
Right.
So this is
This is the
first stage of the lavender moon.
Oh my god.
Just tonight, it just looks a little purple in hue.
Yeah.
And as the days go by,
yeah, I love that.
Gets more purple and more purple and more lavender and more lavender.
See, I had interpreted this as in, like, this is something that happened thousands of years ago, and for some reason everything had righted itself, and now it's happening again.
Well, it might have, but the thing is, because that's a folktale, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's so open to interpretation.
Like, did it happen before? How did they get the moon back in the sky?
Yeah,
did it just happen naturally?
Is this actually the beginning of the end? Like you said, I love that. I love how open it is.
I just love the ending.
Agreed.
But tonight is a calm, cool night. Yeah. And the moon is shining with a beautiful lavender glow.
Love that. ... Yeah, that is beautiful storytelling. Absolutely beautiful. Masterful storytelling.
Man.
Love that.
Love that.
You've done a absolutely
did a fantastic job.
Wonderful job. And again, every single world primer was fucking amazing.
It's true.
You can see how different every single one there was. Yeah. Like, I feel like, well, again, Poddy went in with the BBG.
Like, Poddy went in and literally gave nothing about the world. Like, gave a small amount of lore about the world, that there was a fight between two pantheons of gods.
Yep.
And that this person, what was she called?
Kaguya.
Yeah, Kaguya. She lost. And what happened to a pantheon and stuff like that. And it was basically just the rebuilding of the BBG.
Yeah.
Man, that's
wonderful,
so
wonderful.
Cool.
And, Spiders actually sets out kind of like the rich lore of the world. Like, this is the state of the world. This is what happened. This is how everything is connected. Yeah. And then fucking Reverence just absolutely
just a story.
Just throws you in at the fucking deep end.
Just a story.
Just a story.
But tonight.
Yeah. Man, I love that.
You're all so talented.
You're all so incredibly talented. Congratulations.
Reverend Zach.
Reverend Zach.
You have put yourself as the second entry into the Hall of Fame.
You are in the Hall of Fame,
Congratulations.
Baby. We've got Dwight and we've got Reverend Zach.
Dwight and Reverend Zach.
Again, I can't apologize.
Sorry for saying
your name wrong. I'm so sorry. Please correct us.
Please do.
But slapping.
But congratulations.
Slapping.
And
you did a great job.
Congratulations to Spider and Poddy as well.
Congratulations to all of you.
Such fantastic runners up.
And thank you so much.
Everyone who took part. We read them. They were all amazing.
Yep.
And so these are just the ones that stuck out the most to us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you've got until Monday to get your simple ranged weapons in.
So if that's inspired you, please go ahead and create a simple ranged weapon for us with the theme moon. And there's a chance that your submission will be read out on the podcast.
Yeah.
On Thursday, the 13th, I think it is. Is that right?
Well, for the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so... No, it'll be the Thursday the 6th.
Thursday the 6th.
It ends... No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Thursday the 13th.
Thursday the 13th of July.
Thursday the 13th of July is when the simple ranged weapon will get read out on the podcast.
Yeah. So
thank you very much.
Take a look. Okay. So, shall we just get into today's topic?
So...
let's give a little preface to this, shall we?
The Adventuring Academy Dice, Dragons, and Discovery, and D&D 101.
You're welcome.
Goodbye. One of those.
So, to give a bit of a preface to this, so we had asked, I think 2 episodes ago now, by the time this goes live, we're going to do a new series. What would you like to see? We didn't get to have the feedback of that until after the fact we'd recorded.
Yeah.
So last Thursday's episode, we did our Beyond the Character sheet. We did a deep dive into a druid and what goes into making a druid.
Every decision that you could make, from feats to stats to spells to everything that goes into making a druid.
Yeah, but we had an overwhelming response of people saying we would actually like some more just basic beginner
absolute
stuff.
Basics. Where do we begin?
Yeah, I think a lot of the feedback we got was quite a few of the guides on YouTube that give you all the basics as if you've never played D&D before. They're quite old now at this point.
Like 5-ish, 6-ish years old.
Yeah, and you know what? We will leave a link below to like some of the other videos, because we looked at some videos for references as well to see what people were talking about.
Yeah.
And a lot of the feedback we also got was people who make guides assume you also already know the basics of D&D.
Yeah, like the very basics. Because I think sometimes we can all forget, like,
totally,
especially in this community, quite a beginner-friendly welcome. We seem to harbour quite a lot of new people here.
Yeah.
We seem to have taken on a lot of newcomers, which are more than welcome here.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter if you've been playing D&D for 10 years, 20 years, that doesn't fucking matter at all here. And we want to make sure that the people who are brand new get this video so they understand how to attack D&D from the beginning.
Because, hey, there's a lot of things to D&D. There is a lot of numbers.
There's a lot of phrases. There's a lot of things that we say on the podcast that people might be like...
And to us now, it's second nature.
Yeah.
To us, because we've been playing for 3+ years now, all this stuff we just know. And I think, again, it's easy to forget that we were also beginners once who didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, absolutely no idea. And, take it from us, if we can remember this stuff, you can too.
Oh, yeah.
This truly becomes, it's as simple as practice.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more you'll remember, the more you'll know.
100%. 100%.
It will be like second nature.
Like anything you do in life, it's going to be tough the first time, even with this guide.
Yep.
But just the more you do it, and for I think what this is for, is a lot of people get nervous about their first time playing D&D.
Naturally, by the way.
What if someone laughs at me because I don't know what a D20 is or something like that? And, those are nobody should ever make you feel like that.
No, they shouldn't.
But, we're going to try and give you the tools to sort of take the edge off a little bit and make you feel a little calmer when you go into your first session.
Totally.
Because, you're still probably going to be nervous, but at least if we can make you understand a few things a little bit more, and that's the aim of these videos.
Yeah, and for you to have a sort of reference point as well.
Yeah.
And you guys know us by now. If you haven't watched us before, I'm sure you can get a vibe of what we're like. We are very free-flowing.
Yeah.
We like to have conversations. We tangent a little bit.
I don't know. Do we?
Yeah, we do. Well, no, I don't think we've ever tangented ever.
We're 47 minutes in as we get onto the topic.
But, yeah, and apparently the way we talk is beneficial. So
apparently. So thanks.
We really hope this helps.
Yeah.
So shall we just get into it? And
Let's just get into it, baby.
We want to preface that everything we're talking about now. So this is 10 tips for your first D&D game.
Yeah.
The very basics of what you will need when you turn up to your first session.
Yeah.
There's a couple of assumptions we're making here. The first assumption is that you're playing the base game.
Playing the base game, sort of rules as written.
Yeah.
We'll go over variants that we know about as we go.
Yeah.
But this is sort of if you take these as we say them, if you go into a normal standard game, rules as written, this is sort of what you'll be hit with.
Yeah.
And then we'll try and hit the variants that we can as we go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with the real basics.
The real basics. Let's go over each dice, shall we? Let's go over each dice.
Let's go over each dice. In a normal set of dice for D&D, you got 7 dice.
Yeah. Yeah.
D&D is a D20 based system. And what that means is the dice that you're going to be rolling 99% of the time is
your D20.
The D20.
It's your dodecahedron, baby.
That's the one.
The
20-sided dice.
Yep.
Okay.
This is, I would say, 99% of the time outside of combat, even in combat, this is the dice you're going to be rolling to decide the outcome to a lot of the questions either you or your DM has.
Yeah, so let's just say, here's a couple of examples that you're going to use the D20 for. When your dungeon master says, can you make me a skill check? this is what you'll roll.
Yep.
To hit in combat, this is what you'll roll. A saving throw, this is what you'll roll. Okay? So this is basically the bread and butter of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
Like when people say it's a D20 based system, it's because other systems like that new one that Critical Role came out with,
Candela Obscura.
Candela Obscura. That's a D6 based game.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the dice that you can be rolling most of the time is a D6. So that is what this is for. It's going to be for the majority of your rolls.
Yeah, it is. It truly is.
And they're cool as fuck.
And hey, listen, you've all heard it. You all know it. You hear the terms getting a natty one, natural one. That means big pee-pee poo-poo. You're probably not going to be able to do the thing you want to do. You've also heard the terms of a natural 20.
Natty 20.
And that probably means you have a really high chance of doing the thing you want to do.
Yep.
And sometimes you can hear the term a dirty 20, which is basically when you roll the dice and with all your mods, you get a dirty 20, but it's not as good as a natural 20.
You get an 18, you've got a +2. You get a dirty 20. Because you got 20, but it wasn't the 20 on the dice.
Yeah. I'll also try and put a graphic up as we go as well of what the actual dice look like. Because I'm sure these look like tiny little ants to you. I'm sitting, you cannot see what these are at all. But just know that this is a D20. So.
I'll put the dice graphics in the timestamps.
Hell yeah. Professional podcast, did you know?
Okay.
So, shall we move on to the next one? And we're doing this in chronological order.
That's not true, because there would be one above
this. We'll get on to it.
We'll get on to it. So what we're going to do next is...
The next dice is a D12.
A D12.
The best way to identify your D12, it's a smaller version of your D20.
Yeah, so the thing is, the reason why we want to describe what they look like is because I can tell you exactly what they're for, but when you look down at those crazy shapes below you, when your Dungeon Master says roll a D12 for some reason, you want to sort of get a grip of like what they look like. So it looks like a... smaller D20.
Yeah, it does. It basically looks like a smaller D20.
This isn't used very often.
No, it is not. To be honest, the main reason it is used is if your weapon or if a spell you have cast uses a D20 damage dice.
D12 damage dice.
Sorry.
D12 damage dice. The only weapon in the game that rolls this is a great axe. And there's a few spells that roll D12s. Again, they're uncommon.
Yeah.
Like not that many spells roll a D12.
You probably won't be rolling this often.
So you probably won't be rolling this often.
Unless you have a great axe.
Especially if you're a martial class that doesn't roll a great axe, you're probably never going to roll this. Yeah. But it looks a little like a smaller D20.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I'll put a picture up for you. So, let's move on to the D10.
The D10.
So, there is two I don't have my D10. I do. The D10.
The D10. This is a little complicated because there's two dices here.
There's two dice that comprise of your D10.
Exactly the same. There is a D10 and a D100. The D10 and the D100 are the exact same shape. You're probably going to get a graphic, so I didn't need to do this.
Yeah. Wow.
But one has one number on each face, and the other has two numbers on each face.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're going to stick to the D10 for now.
Yep.
Looks like a little spin top.
Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. And hey, I still get confused between my D10s and my D8s, so don't worry about it. That's very normal.
It looks a little like, the thing that Leonardo DiCaprio spins in Inception?
In Inception, like that, like a spinner top.
Like that, yeah.
Also, another way that we describe it is the umbrella.
Yeah.
Umbrella cop.
The umbrella, yeah.
Yeah, logo. Looks like that from the top. Yeah. Looks like an umbrella. I describe it as a jaunty D8, to be honest.
Yeah, a jaunty D8. That's a very
D8.
nice way to look at it. Yeah. Weapons that use it. Long sword equipped with two hands. Very common. This is the Eldritch Blast dice.
Yeah,
this is also
it's what's on our logo,
our
baby.
Logo. That's how you know what it is. It's the Eldritch Podblast logo.
Quite a few spells use D10s as well.
Spells use D10s.
But again, mainly a damage dice.
Not used for a huge much else. That's what a lot of these are used for.
Yeah.
So the other one, the D100,
yes,
is the D10, but on each face where you would normally see the 5 or the 3, it says 30 and 50.
Yeah.
And the reason you use this is to calculate a D100 roll.
Yeah.
Okay? And how you do that is you take your D10 and your D100, you roll them together. The double figure is the 10s. So let's just say you rolled 30 and then you rolled your D10 and you got a 2. That would be 32.
Yeah. And these are percentile dice. Yes. Honestly, these are really mainly used in like random rolling tables.
Yeah, Wild Magic Sorcerer.
Wild Magic Sorcerer. Yeah. again, to be honest, you don't really roll a D100 too much.
You can roll them as a wizard with the teleportation spell.
Yes.
To see like varying successes.
Yeah. But again, this could commonly be referred to as roll a percentile dice.
Yeah, if someone says roll a percentile, they mean the D100 and the D10 rolled together.
Yeah.
That's what they mean.
Yeah. So, that...
Not the most common.
No.
Probably the least common in your deck of the D100.
Yeah.
But, it's nice to roll 2 dice.
Yeah, and so you know what? Most of the time, it'll probably be a DM rolling it as well, to be honest. So
when you get this involved, you know there is some chaos about to ensue. Oh my god,
yeah. If you ever have to roll a D100, you know that there is some wild shit that is about to happen.
You know that shit's about to go down when you're rolling the D100.
Yeah.
If you like that randomness, play yourself a wild magic sorcerer, because every time you use a sorcery point, you roll on the wild magic table.
Yeah, and some of the shit's wild. Yeah.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. So, on to the D8. Now, the D8 is just 2 triangles stuck to each other.
2 D4s on top of each other.
Yep.
Something like that.
It literally is just
a pyramid.
Like a pyramid.
It's a diamond, sorry, not a pyramid.
Oh, no, yeah, it's like a diamond.
Yeah, it's like
a diamond.
So it's like two triangles like on top of each other.
Yep. Not to be confused with the D10.
No.
But I do it all the time, so don't worry.
The unjaunty D10.
Unjaunty D10.
Unjaunty D10.
I don't really know the names of these actual shapes, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's quite a common dice in terms of damage dice.
It is, yes.
Like lots of spells use D8s. Lots of weapons use D8s.
Yep.
Two-handed use of a great club.
Mm-hmm.
One-handed longsword uses that sort of thing.
A lot of cantrips use D8s.
A lot of cantrips use D8s.
Yeah.
Longbow use D8s. So that's quite a common damage dice, the D8.
Yes.
Nice and easy to recognize.
2
pyramids stuck together.
2 D4s on each other.
Yes.
Yep. And then... Hey, listen, it's the D6.
Look, it's the D6.
We all know it. We all love it.
We all know it.
It's the square.
It's the cube.
It's the traditional dice.
Not like you'll have seen this normal like dice when you were growing up. If you ever had a dice in your house, it was the D6.
Yep.
It was the D6. You can have them with the dots on. You can have them with the numbers on.
Yep.
This is going to be the... When somebody asks you to roll D6, you know exactly what you're looking for.
There's no panic here.
You've seen it a million times before.
Yep, you know it. This, again, hugely common damage dice.
Common damage dice for spells. 8d6 fireball.
Yep.
So you roll 8 of these.
Yep.
Your
sneak attack if you're a rogue.
Sneak attack is d6 for rogues.
Your great sword if you're rolling 2d6.
Yeah, great sword's rolling 2d6.
You're often rolling more than 1d6 at a time.
Only simple melee weapons roll a d6 on its own.
Yep.
Most do higher damage than that. That's like a low damage dice for a weapon.
Yep.
But yeah, when you're rolling a spell that does this, you're usually rolling multiple, or you're rolling it because you're rolling the cantrip.
Yeah. Indeed.
Very, very, very common.
Love a D6. Can't go wrong with D6, to be honest.
Okay.
And then finally, we have...
I'll let you hold yours up first.
The D4.
The D4.
So...
What I realised when we were explaining that is the D8 is not 2 D4s stuck on top of each other because they have 3 sides. But, but you know, it's all looks like that. D4, little caltrops.
Yeah, just a little pyramid. Just a little pyramid.
Looks
it's a triangle. It's
looks
a triangle.
Like they would hurt to stand on.
Yep, literally, it's just the triangle. Now, the D4 is probably the dice that has the most variant sizes in it.
Yeah, and shapes.
But let's face it, a lot of the times if you're going into D&D, your first set of dice is probably going to be the traditional chess X set.
And it's going to look like that.
And it's going to look like that. It's going to be a triangle.
You have others that look like this.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Jen.
Mercenary Otter Dice, link is in the description.
Love these dice.
That's like a traditional diamond D4.
Diamond D4.
And then this, which is sent in by Sarah from Bottled Stars Dice. This is another variant of the diamond D4.
Do you know what? I love those.
I do as well.
They're really cute.
I do. So
4-sided dice, really low weapon damage, like daggers roll that. Some cantrips roll that.
Some spells do it.
Some poison damage spells roll multiple of them. Quite common damage dice.
I would say quite common damage dice.
Don't do a massive amount of damage, but they're kind of cute to roll.
Yeah, they're fun to roll. They are fun to roll.
4, look at that.
Like, to be honest, this is also used a lot to calculate time, how long it takes you to do something.
Yeah, if you get knocked unconscious and you get stabilized but not like healed, because we've got no healing spells or anything like that, you roll a d4 to see how many hours you are unconscious for.
Yep.
So, passing of time, d4s, that's a good shout.
Yep.
But that is all of them.
That's it. Seriously, that's it.
All of the dice are demystified.
Listen, it looks a lot when you're holding them all.
Yeah.
And it looks, oh my goodness gracious.
It looks like a lot.
It looks like a lot when you also don't really know what the shapes do.
Yeah. And let's be honest, you're going to have a couple of ride or die spells that you're going to use like specific damage dice for. And then you're mainly going to be rocking the D20.
Yeah.
Skill checks to hit in combat. Saving throws. Yep. That's what you're going to be. Every time you get asked any of them, you're rolling the D20, and you're going to find the modifier on your page.
Exactly. Your D20 is the most important dice,
yes,
I would say.
Yeah.
So, hope that helps. It's, again, what I used to have to do was I used to have to line them up in front of me from smallest to biggest number, and that really helped me identify what they were. That's a good way to do it, Another really common thing I see is people print out or just draw on a sheet of paper and they draw around where the dice are.
Yeah.
They put the dice on, they label it underneath.
Yeah, like D20 and then they put it above it.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to put it above it. That's a great little cheat sheet.
Yeah, you'll get it.
When you begin.
I promise.
Yeah.
You'll get it. You'll be rolling your dice so often, it will just become, once again, second nature.
Yeah.
So that's the dice, innit?
That's the dice, innit?
That's the dice.
Now we're going to go over some basic terms. And jargon is a thing in D&D.
Yeah, it is.
That jargon's a massive thing. And me and Margaret are very, very guilty of doing it. Because, we're a D&D inspired podcast. And a lot of people here do understand those terms. But for the newbies who hear us say, like, these terms and they're like, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, and there is a lot of them. There is a lot of them.
And we're going to try and break down. We've got a list here. I imagine we'll have missed
something.
So if you can think of any terms that we've missed, put them in the comments below and break down what they mean for people. And you can look through the comments to find those phrases that we've forgotten.
Yeah, and I will edit this out if I don't remember to do this, but I could put together a resource as well that breaks down exactly what we're talking about, exactly when we're talking about it.
Let's see if that.
Let's see. Write it down, Jack, just in case I don't do it, and then I can edit this out in case I haven't done it.
Okay.
But. That might be a resource available. I don't know. Check the description. So, shall we just go?
Yes, let's go from the top.
So, the first term that you will most likely you will definitely come across.
100%
every single session you play.
Every session
is a skill check.
Yes, it won't be called. The DM won't say, "Make me a skill check." They'll say, "Make a perception check, make a deception check, make a survival check, acrobatics." And you'll see on the left side of your sheet, you've got all of those things noted down in alphabetical order, from acrobatics all the way down to whatever it is, like stealth.
Remember that. It is alphabetic.
It is. So, if they ask you for an acrobatics, you go to the top.
You go to the top.
If you're going for a survival, you go near the bottom.
It's going to the bottom.
If you're going for nature, you're in the middle.
Yeah.
That requires the D20 as we mentioned before.
Yep.
But a skill check is always a D20 plus or minus whatever the modifier is for that skill.
So whatever number you have written in that box next to whatever check has been called, let's say perception, you have a 4 written in there.
Yes.
You would roll your dice. Let's say you roll a 10. You add the 4 to it for a total of 14.
Yes.
And it truly is as simple as that. Basics. Remember, it's alphabetical. I didn't for the longest time. Do not panic. I still to this day take ages to find to get my eye to find where they are. That's very, very normal.
Yeah. Something with a skill check is you cannot critically fail a skill check.
Indeed.
So because by the end of the game, skill checks are made up by your scores, and if you're proficient in them, your proficiency bonus as well. So by the end of the game, you might have a massive stealth or something like that, or a massive athletics. It might be 10, and you roll a 1. It's still going to be an 11.
Yeah.
You can't critically fail a skill check.
Yes, unless your DM says otherwise. But I don't think
they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be doing that.
But yeah. So a skill check is always a D20 plus or minus your modifier.
Yeah, and of course, higher number, better thing. Lower number, worse thing.
And they're against whatever the DC that the dungeon master sets for you.
Yeah.
A similar one, which is the second one, is saving throw.
So your character, when you pick a class. When you pick a class, you will have 2 different saving throws that you are proficient in. So that just means you're better at them.
Yes.
So there will be 2 that are a slightly higher number because you get to add your proficiency bonus to it. We'll go with a proficiency bonus. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And a saving throw is basically, it's mainly used in terms of saving from a spell, right?
Yeah. Or maybe sometimes like things can force you to make a strength check, like if they're trying to push you, or a strength saving throw, or a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
That is again the D20. Mm-hmm. You'll see a theme here.
Yeah.
This is your ride or die, baby. So get one that you like the look of. Like Margaret said, your saving throws are dictated by your stats. Like you'll have a strength score, dex score, con score, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
Yep.
And they'll dictate your pluses and minuses for your saving throws.
Yep.
Like Margaret said, if you're a druid, you'll get wisdom and intelligence.
Yeah.
And then you'll get to add your proficiency bonus to those saving throws. But it will always be this plus or minus whatever is in your saving throws.
Yeah, and to be clear, the saving throw box is different to your skill box.
Yeah, and different to your stats.
Yeah. I'll put a graphic up here of like a typical character sheet, right?
Yeah.
It is that box that you're looking at for the saving throws. And again, you're mainly going to be using them like if your DM's enemy casts a spell on you and they will go, make a constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
Or something like
saving
that.
throws don't really come into play outside of combat.
Yeah.
So you could probably go an entire session without being asked to do a saving throw.
Yeah, exactly.
But then also you could be fighting a wizard and you could be getting a saving throw every round of combat.
Yeah.
So saving throws will come up quite often. Monsters' abilities can force you to do saving throws as well. And you may be just trying to do something like a really hard jump and you failed, and then you might need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
So that is the saving throws.
But yeah, D20 plus your saving throw box.
Yeah. And do not mix it up with just your stats. Always look at your saving throw box when you're making a saving throw, because you might be fucking yourself out of your proficiency bonus on that saving throw.
Yep,
because
indeed.
if you're a warlock and you just look at your score and you've got a +5, you need to remember that if your proficiency bonus is +3, you've actually got an 8 in your saving throw.
Yeah.
So always look at the saving throws, not the stats.
Yep. And again, there are specific boxes on your character sheet that tell you them.
Yes.
So the next one is your spell save DC.
Spell save.
So your spell save DC, it is actually like something that you calculate yourself.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
It's very, very easy.
Don't worry, it's very easy.
When you cast a spell, or when you maybe you've got an ability that you get with your class that might force an enemy to make a saving throw. And the dungeon master will have to roll it for the enemy, and then they'll say, what's your saving throw? Because they need to try and beat that. Yeah. Like you did when you were making a saving throw. They need to know what they need to beat and when they're doing their saving throw.
All of your spells, they absolutely will specify what saving throw you need to tell your DM to make.
Yeah. So like if you're casting Fireball, the dungeon master will have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
And each spell does like a different one. The way you calculate it is always, no matter what, 8 plus your spellcasting modifier. So if it's a druid, it'll be wisdom. If it's a warlock, it'll be charisma. If it's a wizard, it'll be intelligence, just like that. You find out in the player's handbook what it is. So it's 8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. So to make it clear what your spellcasting ability modifier is, it's not the big number. So let's say if you have an 18 in you're a druid, you use wisdom, you have an 18 in your wisdom, you're not adding the 18 to the 8.
No.
You are adding the modifier that is created by the 8, so it's the number underneath that is the +4, for example.
So if you've got an 18, it's a +4. If you've got a 20, it's a +5. If you've got a 16, it's a +3. So it's the +3 plus the proficiency bonus, which at first level is +3, +8. Yeah?
You got this.
You've got this.
You got this.
You've got this. I can see you. I can see you making notes, and I see you doing a fantastic job.
So we'll move on to, we keep mentioning this proficiency bonus, so we'll just quickly go over what your proficiency bonus is.
Yes.
So it starts, and it is the same for all characters,
every character,
no matter what.
Yes.
So your proficiency bonus, basically it's there. So the things you're slightly better at as a character, let's say you're better at deception.
I said it was +3 at level 1. It's not +2.
No, it's +2.
I'm a liar.
So all characters start with a +2, no matter what. So if you are proficient in something, you will be adding your modifier plus the proficiency bonus, which is 2. At 5th level, your proficiency bonus goes up to 3. At 9th level, it goes up to 4. At 13th level, it goes up to 5. And then 17th level, it caps out at 6.
Yes.
So
if you have a skill that you are proficient in, let's just say it is perception. So next to each skill, you will see that they have like a little word in brackets. And it'll be like strength, dexterity, wisdom, intelligence, charisma. Constitution has no proficiency skill, sadly.
Yeah.
So what you would do to calculate those is if you're proficient in it, you add your proficiency bonus to the modifier of the skill. And that's how you calculate your skills. Like Margaret said, your proficiency bonus goes up. It calculates your spell save DC. It calculates you to hit as well. It calculates and your skills as well. So, what are you doing? You're writing on the sheet.
Sorry, I am writing on the sheet.
She's writing on the sheet.
I'm writing on the sheet. So, as we're going, I'm thinking of things to mention.
Yeah.
A concentration check. Mm-hmm. So that actually kind of ties into what Jack was saying with there is no constitution skill. So a concentration check, and you will only get this if you're a spellcaster and you have cast a spell that has the concentration tag to it. That means you have to concentrate on the spell for it to keep going, obviously.
Yeah.
So whenever you get hit when you are concentrating on a spell, you have to make something called a concentration check. Now, your concentration check is literally your D20 dice plus your constitution modifier.
So there's no skills tied to constitution, and that may feel real bad, and you're like, well, fuck it, I don't want proficiency in constitution, but proficiency in constitution is unbelievable when you're making concentration checks.
Indeed.
So what you do is, for concentration, the DC is always 10. Okay? So if your dungeon master says, roll me a concentration check, what they actually mean is roll me a constitution saving throw. You roll the D20, you add your constitution score, and you want to beat 10. The only time the DC changes of a concentration check is if you get into the large damage. And what that is it's either 10 or half of the damage taken.
Yeah.
So if you take over 20 damage, then the DC starts to go up a little bit, like that. So if you get hit for 40 points of damage, the DC concentration check is 20.
Yeah.
Okay?
So that's how it scales.
That's how it scales. That is how it scales.
But basically, if you get hit for under 20 damage, you're fine. If you get hit, it's only a DC of 10. If you get hit for more than 20 damage, you just have the damage.
You get hit for 22, it's 11. 24, it's 12. And then you always round it down. So if it's 23, it's still 12.
Yeah. And then you just have to...
Still 11.
you just have to roll your D20 and add your constitution saving throw to it.
And I just want to say a little thing about this proficiency. So there's the only other time you're going to get proficiency mentioned is if you are proficient in something. So if it says that you are proficient in medium armor, for say, that means you can wear medium armor. It doesn't mean you have to add anything to the score or anything like that. If you're proficient in martial weapons, it means that you can use martial weapons. So the only time the proficiency will get mentioned when it's not the proficiency score is if you are able to use something.
Yeah.
Just wanted to mention that.
Indeed.
Okay, what's next, Margaret? Something that you will most definitely probably use in session 1.
Yep, is initiative.
Yes.
So initiative is, so you have just gone into combat. Whatever sequence of events has led you to
the goblins have raided the town, and your dungeon master says the sacred words.
Roll initiative.
Roll for initiative.
So what this is it's actually a very simple stat.
Super simple. Stimple?
Super stimple.
Super stimple.
Super stimple.
It's so simple.
It's so stimply.
I actually changed the word.
Yeah. You literally, you roll your D20 dice, and then you add your dexterity modifier to it.
This is
simple as that.
Initiative is basically how fast you react to the opening round of combat.
Yeah.
So if you roll low, you will come low in the order of people to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's just say we're a rogue and we've got an 18 in dexterity. So we've got a plus 4 modifier. We go, that's a 1.
Oh.
Of course it's a 1 because I rolled it. That would mean it's a 5 because you cannot critically fail a skill check. And dexterity is a skill check. Mm-hmm. If you have bardic inspiration, you can add it to your initiative roll.
If you have advantage and you have an advantage coin, you want to use it, you can roll with advantage on initiative.
Yeah, because initiative is a skill check.
Yep.
There are spells that can give you advantage, like, what is it? Alacrity? The gift of alacrity.
Gift of alacrity.
That can give you advantage on initiative rolls.
Yep.
The Twilight Cleric can give advantage on initiative rolls. Initiative is very, very important. Going early in initiative is very advantageous. So if you ever have a advantage, to use it on initiative is very, very important.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
It's a good way to use it.
Yeah, it's a very, very simple number. D20 roll plus your dexterity mod.
Yeah. So if Margaret gets a 12 and I get a 10, that means that she goes before me in combat.
Yep.
And that's the pecking order of combat.
Yep. Okay? Exactly. So the next thing you're going to hear, again, a lot of...
Your Dungeon Master's going to say this a lot.
What's your AC?
What's your AC?
What's your AC?
What's your AC?
AC is short for your armor class.
Yes.
And that basically means how hard or how easy you are to hit.
Yes, it is. It is... Sadly, there is a rule called meets it, beats it, and that counts for your armor class as well.
Yeah.
So your armor class is calculated. It is always 10 plus dex plus anything else.
Yep.
So if you're wearing no armor at all and you've got a +2 in dexterity, you've got a 12 AC.
Yeah, unless you are a barbarian or a monk, in which case you can add a different...
You get to add different things to it. So monks get to add their wisdom score as well, and barbarians get unarmored defense, which is their strength score. So you get to add your
constitution.
Oh, is it constitution?
Yeah.
So that's how you calculate it. So remember earlier when I said proficiency in armor? So let's just say you're proficient in light armor or something like that. You will get... Each armor has a set rules that it applies to. So studded leather is 12 plus your dexterity modifier. So that means your dexterity if you had a 2, that means your armor class is now 14. When it goes to medium armor, normally medium armor, you can only add +2.
Yeah.
So even if you have a 3 in it, you can only add the +2 to the medium armor.
Yeah. There's stipulations to all of it. Honestly,
I'd check the book for the AC.
AC is something that isn't static.
No.
Your AC can change
all the time.
If
you go to the shop and you buy some new armor, your AC
will change.
Yeah.
If someone casts the spell haste on you, your armor class will go up. There will be things that will reduce your armor class. There's a whole bunch of things, but
only difference to that rule is if you're wearing heavy armor, you do not add your dexterity modifier to it at all.
Yeah, but honestly, I cannot stress enough, when it comes to your armor class and your armor, do take a look through the book, take a look and work it out that first. But if you weren't wearing anything and you just wanted to work it out, it's 10 plus your dex mod.
Yes, absolutely.
And the AC is, what it actually is how to hit you. So let's say your AC is 15. Your dungeon master will have to roll a 15. You get a 15 on the dice and the modifiers to be actually able to hit you in the first place.
Sadly, if he does roll a 15, he still hits your armor.
Still hits you. But if they roll a 14, not going to hit you.
Not going to hit you. You dodge.
Yep.
You duck, you dive, you dodge.
Unfortunately, the same applies the other way. If your DM's creature has an armor class of 15 and you roll a 14, you're not going to hit it. Yeah. It happens. It happens, trust me.
Also, with things like heavy armor, you need to meet. So this is why wizards can't just be like, I have a shit AC, it's alright, I'll just put on some extremely heavy armor. You need a specific strength score to meet some of the heavy armor, because you need to be so burly to wear it.
Yeah.
And also, if you have proficiency in shields, you get a +2 if you equip a shield. And if you do equip a shield, you can only use a one-handed weapon. Okay?
Again, I know that the AC is a lot to go over, and it's hard for us to be able to go over all the different variations of it in this video at the very least. So, yeah. Take a look through the book first.
Take a look through the book. See what you're proficient in. Yeah. See if you can wear it, and if you can, go and buy yourself some. Because not all classes start with armor as well.
Indeed.
Okay.
So, the next thing we want to talk about is rolling to hit.
This is what your Dungeon Master will ask you to do if you make an attack.
Yes. So this is kind of what we were just talking about then, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So rolling to hit, you want to either meet the creature's armor class or you want to beat it.
Yes.
Go above it. So once again, you take your D20. Then you add
the amount of times I've held this up.
Then you add your proficiency. Proficiency bonus. You add your proficiency bonus, then plus your ability modifier.
Yes, so for a barbarian, it would be strength.
Yep.
For a rogue, it would be dexterity. For a wizard, it would be intelligence. You will find out in the book what your ability modifier is. So when you're rolling to hit, you'll roll the D20. My dog is here.
Oh, he's back.
You'll roll the D20. You'll add your proficiency bonus and your ability modifier, and that is your to hit in combat.
Yep. And, that applies. It doesn't matter if you're hitting something with a sword or you're casting a spell. This is the formula you will always use.
If something says make an attack roll, that's exactly what you do.
Yep.
That's an attack roll.
And this sounds like there's a lot of mental math that goes on. There isn't. on your character sheet, you can write, let's say you have a weapon. You can write down that you have this weapon. You can write the modifier next to it. So every single time you make an attack, it will become second nature if you use the same weapon over and over.
You have a +7. You know you have a +8. You know you have a +5.
Exactly.
So then all you're doing is rolling, and then because you've added those two numbers together, your ability and your proficiency bonus, you've added them together on your sheet for a +8. You just go, boom. It's a 15 + 8. It's a 23.
You will. I promise you. You will just end up remembering.
Yeah, you'll remember that.
So the next thing is damage.
Damage. So this is after you've successfully either forced the creature to make a save against the spell or hit successfully with an attack.
Yeah. So your damage, it will vary wildly from whatever you're using.
Yeah, like a 2d6 for a greatsword.
Yep.
Or 8d6 for a fireball.
Yep. So basically, take a look at either the spell you're casting. It will tell you exactly what you need to roll.
Yeah.
Or take a look at the weapon you're using. It will tell you exactly what you need to roll.
Yes.
Again, write these all down on your character sheet so they're there and you know.
So with damage, this will be more pertinent to, say, a martial class like a barbarian. You'll take your 2d6 and you'll roll it, and it'll be plus your ability score modifier for damage. So a barbarian, let's just say they roll 2d6, they get 2d6 on the damage, that's 12. They've got an 18, so they've got a +4. So you'll be adding that 12 +4, so you'll be hitting with a 16 there for damage. When it comes to spells, there's only certain spells that get to add ability modifier.
For the majority of spells, you do not add your ability modifier, and the same goes for cantrips as well.
The only ones that do, you'll either get it from a specific subclass or something like that, but the Warlock gets to add their charisma modifier to Eldritch Blast. That's why Eldritch Blast is so goated in the community.
Hell yeah.
It does a lot of damage. It does a lot of consistent damage because it always gets to add that to its damage. But most spells, you won't be adding anything to it. It'll just be the raw rolls of the dice.
Yeah.
But if you're a martial class, let's say you're a ranger, you shoot with the longbow, you hit that 1d8 plus your dexterity modifier. And that'll be written in the player's handbook as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You again, cannot stress enough how every single thing you use to do damage with, it will say exactly what the dice you need to roll.
It will say it or not, and if it doesn't, then it means no.
Yeah, indeed. So, the next one is flanking.
Flanking.
So, again, we are going rules as written. Flanking means if you and an ally are stood adjacent to one another on either side of a creature, you get advantage on your attacks because you're outnumbering the creature.
You need to be on opposite sides.
Yeah.
If you stood next to your mate and there's an enemy in front of you, that's not flanking.
Yes.
Okay?
You have to be either side of the creature.
Yes.
So basically, we would be flanking.
If the enemy was this cup.
Yep. We'd be flanking right now.
Because I'm stood in this space and Margaret stood in that space.
Yep.
We are flanking.
If the cup's here, you're not flanking.
We're in like diagonals to it.
Yeah.
We're not flanking.
We're not flanking.
Right?
If I was sat there, we would be flanking.
Yeah. Across from it.
Yeah, across from each other.
So, flanking is actually a optional rule.
Yes.
But basically every single table uses it.
Yeah.
They will use it to varying degrees, though.
Yeah, indeed. Rules as written is advantage on your attacks.
Yeah.
However, a lot of people do run with proficiency bonus to your attacks.
Yeah, so if it's advantage, we didn't even explain what advantage means.
No.
So if you're rolling with advantage, you're always rolling 2d20s. And you're taking the highest. If you're rolling with disadvantage, you're rolling 2d20s and taking the lowest.
Yeah.
So if we're flanking and I'm attacking this enemy, I'm getting a roll with advantage. So I roll 2 and I take the highest one. Getting advantage in a fight is very, very good.
Yeah. No. Yeah. 100%. Absolutely. It just means double the chance of being able to hit.
If you've got an option to flank, like if you've got enough movement to flank, and always do it.
Yeah. Agreed.
If you can.
Yeah.
We actually use proficiency bonus to hit. So that basically means if we're flanking like we are now with the cup, Mr. Big Bad Goblin Cup, that means I would roll with all my normals. So let's say I've got a +8. I'd roll a d20, single one, not advantage, and I'd have my +8, then I'd have my plus proficiency bonus again. So I'd get an extra +2, +3, +4 on top of my attack. We like to not do advantage because a lot of things like in your class, in your subclass, grant you advantage. Like the Barbarian's Rage, Reckless Attack, that grants advantage. So sometimes when you flank, it sort of cheapens ways to get advantage from classes.
But again, as the player, you wouldn't be deciding that. It would be your DM.
It would be your
deciding
Dungeon Master
that.
who decides what flanking does.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how you flank.
Yep.
And that's what it gives you.
Yeah. So should we go over advantage and disadvantage?
Oh, yeah, did it?
Yeah.
So, you advantage, 2d20s take the highest. Disadvantage, roll 2d20s take the lowest. If you've got nothing, you're always just rolling 1d20. Okay?
You get it? You got it?
Let me see what I get.
Go on.
This is with advantage. 18?
17
good. And 18 on the die.
Pretty good.
Disadvantage. 16. That was weird.
Oh my lord.
I rolled as 18, 17, and 16.
It normally doesn't go that well, trust me.
Yeah. So yeah, that's advantage and disadvantage. So if you're ever rolling with either of those two, you either take the highest or take the lowest.
Yep. Indeed.
Get it?
Yeah.
Am I doing a good job?
Yeah. So the next one is hit dice.
Yes.
So every character, every character and every class will get a hit dice that they roll. So, for example, the druids is a d8.
The wizards is a d6.
The barbarians is a d12.
The barbarian is the only one that gets a d12.
It is. I think the most common one is a d8.
A d8.
D8.
Druids,
Clerics.
rogues, clerics, bards, I'm pretty sure bards is a d8.
I'm not sure.
All d8s.
Yeah. So what hit dice means is, per your level, you get an equal amount of hit dice, and these are things you can roll when you take a short rest. For example, in the game, you will be able to expend one of your hit dice to roll that to get some hit points back, basically.
When you roll it, if you're rolling to heal yourself on a short rest, so let's just say we're level 2, we've got 2 hit dice.
Yep.
We want to roll the d8 and then add our constitution modifier. And that's how we heal up on a short rest.
Yep, and that's also how you calculate your health if you are rolling for health.
Yeah, a lot of people just take average health.
Yep.
So if you've got a D8, it would be 5. Not 4. I think it's 5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. So you take the average plus your constitution score when you level up.
Yeah.
So, your Dungeon Master will probably talk you through that when you do. I like to roll hit dice when we level up, and we always re-roll 1s. Because rolling a 1 on hit dice is the saddest shit.
It is the saddest. It's the worst.
Earth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the only time you'll ever use a hit dice is on a short rest to heal up.
Yep.
Or when you level up to calculate your new maximum hit points.
Yep. Pretty simple. Again, your class will absolutely tell you what your hit dice is.
Yes.
So, the last two. So, there is times, unfortunately, where you will be asked to make a death saving throw.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
So, a death saving throw is simply a d20 roll.
Yeah. When you go unconscious, if it gets to your turn...
And you're still unconscious.
And you haven't been stabilized, you haven't been healed, and you start your turn just unconscious, your Dungeon Master will say the dreaded words... Can you make me a death saving throw?
Yep, and it is simply a d20 roll.
As always, d20 roll.
Anything under a 10 is a fail. Anything over a 10 is a success, including a 10.
So Wizards of the Coast are very kind because, split down the middle, it should be 11 and above.
Yep, but you get the 10.
For death saving throws, it's a 10.
Yeah.
A 10 and above is a success.
Yep.
If you roll a natural 1, that counts as 2 death saves. If you get between 9 and 2... that is 1 death. If you get between 10 and 19, you succeed 1. If you get a natural 20, what do?
You pop back up with 1 hit point,
at
baby.
The beginning of your go. So if you roll a natural 20 on a death save, you get up.
Yep. You are no longer unconscious.
And you have your entire go ahead of you.
Yep.
You still have action, bonus action, and movement, okay?
Slaps pretty good. So, yeah, basically, you can... I'll put the graphic up here. It is 3 fails or 3 successes.
If you get 3 failures...
you die.
You are dead.
You are dead. That is it. Your character is dead.
If you get 3 successes... you do not pop back up to 1 hit point. You are just
stabilized.
So that means you are unconscious, no longer rolling death saving throws, but you're not in imminent danger.
Yep.
Okay?
Indeed.
The only time you will pop back up to 1 hit point is if you roll that 20.
Yep.
So 20, pop up to 1, 19 to 10, succeed with 1, 10 to 2, 9 to 2, you fail 1, natural 1, you fail
2. So yeah. And again, whichever gets to 3 first is the outcome. If you live or die.
So yeah,
basically.
D20 again, as always, D20 based system.
You add nothing to it.
You add nothing to it. No modifiers. It's the only rule in the game that you don't add or minus anything from it. And also, what was I going to say? When you get up, when you are stable or when you are brought up with a healing spell or anything like that, your death saves normally are wiped clean.
Yeah.
So you don't, if you fail to and then you get up, you don't still have those two if you go down. They're wiped clean.
Yeah.
Your Dungeon Master will state differently.
Yeah, your DM will let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to mention that we forgot to mention earlier, when we're doing initiative checks, if you have a minus in your dexterity, you do have a minus
in the initiative. Yes, you do.
Just wanted to mention that.
Keep that in mind. So then the last thing we're going to talk about in terms of the basic terms is conditions.
Okay.
Now, we are not going to go over every single condition because there's a lot of them. We will leave a link below that gives you a comprehensive list of all the conditions and what they do. But conditions are basically something like your DM might say you're incapacitated, you're poisoned, you're prone, you're restrained.
Yeah.
And each of these conditions
means something.
Means something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just give you a couple. So poisoned means you have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah.
Prone means melee attacks have advantage against you, ranged attacks have disadvantage against you, and it takes 15 feet to get up. So
it takes half your movement to get up.
Half your movement to get up. So each condition does something different to you.
Yeah, and most of the time they're bad.
The one that you really got to look out for is if you're stunned or paralyzed, you're in massive danger.
Yes, indeed.
Massive, massive danger.
Yes, you are. So
all attack rolls have advantage, and if they hit, they are automatic crits.
Yeah, real bad shit. But just know conditions are a thing in the game. Yeah. You will have a condition on you at some point. Mm-hmm. We will leave a resource below for all of them.
One thing with conditions, just to note, is if you are concentrating on a spell and for whatever reason, because some overlap, like some things make you incapacitated and things like that. If a condition means you are incapacitated, you automatically lose concentration on a spell.
Yes.
Just so you know.
Yes. Indeed.
Man, there's a lot of jargon with
There's a lot of jargon.
That's a lot of jargon.
God, the amount of stuff that we thought of as we were going through that list as well. And we spent ages putting that list together, by the way.
And we were like, oh, we forgot this, we forgot this.
We spent absolutely ages putting that together.
So I hope that helps.
Yeah, we really do.
Like, a lot of people will just, for some reason, because we do that, because we play with people who know these things all the time.
Yeah, we just take it for granted, I think, knowing it.
Like, can you roll me a death saving throw? And you're like, but now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Now you know.
And just, like, come back to that, like, clip if you need to and just, like, find the section and find the thing that you need to know. And just refresh yourself. Yeah.
I realize in hindsight now, we probably could have made a separate video just about the basics, honestly.
Probably.
Because this is a 10 tips video.
And that was tip 2.
That was tip 2.
So here we go. We're on tip 3 now, baby.
Tip 3.
Action economy.
Yes.
Massive. Basically, the entire way the fucking game works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? What is action economy? So, what do you break it down to?
Yeah, so action economy is broken down typically into 4 different things.
Yes.
So it is, you get this as a player character. Your DM also gets this as whatever monster they are playing or creature or enemy. So it is broken down into, you have an action, you have a bonus action, you have your movement, and you have a reaction.
Yeah.
And this is what you get every single turn in a round of combat.
Every round. Every time it comes to your go.
These all refresh.
And
you get them all again.
You
unless you have a condition on you that stops you using any of these.
So, action. What can we use our action for?
So, the main thing that you're going to be using your action for 9 times out of 10 is doing some form of attacking.
Yes.
So, this could be attacking with a melee weapon, this could be casting a spell, etc. This is you doing something to the enemy.
Attacking, spell casting, interacting with an object, grappling. Like, these are all things that we want to do. Rules is written, taking a potion. And then maybe if there's something in combat that you're not sure on, maybe it's out of those normal things that we've just said there, you just ask your Dungeon Master, if I wanted to throw this book at my friend or something like that, they will say to you, that'll use your action.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to know. Like, what's it going to use on my turn to do that thing?
Yeah. And again, anything out of attacking and anything out of spellcasting does kind of come down to your DM's interpretation of it. Again, some DMs could rule that you interacting to pull a lever might not take your action, but some would.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing an attack, I would just say, you'll just say to your DM, can I do this? They will let you know.
They will let you know.
Basically.
All you marshals out there, so all you non-spellcasters out there, with your action, this can get a little complicated when you're brand new. When you use your action to attack, at 5th level and like 11th level and things like that, as we get further into the game, when you use your action to attack, you actually get more than one attack.
Yes.
So at 5th level, when you get multi-attack, when you say, I want to use my action to attack, that means you can actually attack twice.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take more actions to do more attacks. Here he is again.
Oh.
It's just action attack. Because I've got multi-attack, I can make 2 attacks.
Yeah.
At 11th level, when you get multi-attack upgraded to 2, that means you're going to make 3 attacks with your action.
Yep.
So that's just the way to keep them in line with more powerful spells as we go further up the game.
And again, if you are hasted, you will also get an extra attack.
Yes, but that's by the time you get to 5th level,
you'll have an extra attack anyway.
Spells, you'll begin to understand that like there's exceptions to these.
Yeah.
So if someone casts haste on you, you get an extra action on your go.
And rules is written: drinking a potion is an action as well.
But a lot of DMs make it a bonus action because it probably should be, and I think in 1 D&D they will make potions a bonus action.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I use bonus action potion. But if you feed it to somebody else, it's an action.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you need to find out from your DM.
If you are ever unsure, just ask your DM about what constitutes an action. Yeah. Because every DM will rule it differently.
So that is your action.
Yeah.
Now your bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
So in the game, there are a lot of bonus action spells.
Yep.
Here's a couple of the absolute ride or dies.
Yeah.
Healing Word and Misty Step. They are very, very common uses of your bonus.
Yes, indeed. It's spell casting especially as well.
Yeah.
Again, most times you will be using your action to cast a spell.
Yeah.
And a really important thing to remember is you cannot cast more than 1 spell in a turn. So you couldn't use a spell slot on your action to use Cure Wounds, and you wouldn't be able to use Healing Word as a bonus action on your turn as well.
Because that's 2 spell slots in 1 turn.
It's one or the other.
Do. The only exception to that
Yep.
is you can cast a spell on your turn with your action or your bonus action, and then use a spell as your reaction. So reaction spells are quite niche, and there's only a couple.
Shield. Yeah, let's face it.
Shield, if you couldn't cast it in the same turn, shield would be useless. But we can cast Fireball in our go, and an enemy can come up to us in 2 turns' time and hit me with a sword, and I can cast shield.
Yeah.
Okay? So you can cast the spell as a reaction, even if you cast the spell with your action or your bonus action.
Yeah, exactly. Okay? But you cannot do bonus action spell, action spell.
That's what you can't do.
Yeah, indeed.
Your bonus action can be used for a number of other things.
Yep.
A lot of things that it's used for is like abilities.
Yeah.
So the Barbarian's Rage is a bonus action. Flurry of Blows for a monk is a bonus action. Second Wind for the fighter is a bonus action. So a bonus action is usually consumed by spells or abilities.
Yeah. Bonus actions, love a good bonus action.
A rogue cunning action can dash, disengage, and hide.
Yep. If you're a moon druid, use your wild shape on a bonus action. So, yeah, there's again, depending on what you are playing, depends on what you will have your bonus action contested for, basically. So then the next thing you have in your turn is movement. So again, your race determines your movement.
Yeah.
And
so if you're a small race, which Margaret absolutely loves, any dwarf, any gnome, the ones that she really, really likes, they all get 25.
Yeah. Little smallies.
Normal standard races usually get
30 feet.
30 feet. And then there's some that get extra, like 35. Is it like Wood Elf?
Wood Elf.
Yeah.
A Wood Elf gets 35.
And there's a number of others that get it as well. Normally it'll be 30.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10 your movement's going to be 30 unless you have taken a feat or you've got a magic item or something like that gives you more, or you've had a spell cast on you, basically.
Yes. So yeah, things to note about movement. You can use your movement however you want.
Whenever you want as well.
You can move 10 feet, cast your spell, move 10 more feet, use your bonus action to do something, move the last 10 feet. You can split it up however you want.
Yeah, you could go 5 feet, do something, 15 feet, do something, the last 10 feet, if you wanted to.
Nice maths.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to fucking
That was quick maths.
That was quick maths, baby.
That was quick maths.
Yeah, so movement can be split up, anything like that. Difficult terrain will half your movement speed. Yep. Some things being grappled, like we talked about earlier, that's a condition. That reduces your speed to 0. So does restrained. Speed is 0. Mm-hmm. Standing up from prone takes half of your movement.
Yep.
If you use a spell to, let's say, Misty Step, use your bonus action to cast Misty Step, you'll teleport 30 feet. That doesn't consume your movement.
You still have your movement on top of it.
You still have 30 feet of movement to move after that. So you could move 60 feet that round if you cast 30 feet Misty Step and then move 15 feet.
Same with Dimension Door. 500 feet, baby. And you still got your movement on top of that.
And you can take a mate with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So
teleporting doesn't consume your movement on your turn.
Yep.
Just so you know.
Indeed.
Forced movement doesn't consume your movement on your turn. So if something shoved you on your turn 15 feet, you still have your 30
You still have your movement.
Yeah.
Indeed. And then finally, you have your reaction. So your reaction is used for things like an attack of opportunity. That's the main thing you will probably be using it for if you're not casting shield.
Yeah.
So if an enemy moves out of your range, which is normally 5 feet,
which is
right?
determined by your weapon.
Yeah.
So unless you're using something like a glaive or a halberd, which would
Like
give you
a
10
polearm.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, a polearm. That means your attack of opportunity range is a bit bigger.
Yep. And then something moves away from you, you get to make an attack of opportunity with your reaction, which is basically an extra attack.
Mm-hmm. You can only cast a spell with this if you have the feat Warcaster. Even if it's a cantrip.
Yep. You cannot use a spell as a reaction.
Unless you have Warcaster.
Yes. Or unless it is something like shield, when you are getting hit and you want to
use reaction. Shield plus 5 to your AC. There's another spell out there as well that uses a reaction. There's another spell. What is it? Jack, what is it, Margaret?
Go on. It's only silvery barbs, isn't it?
Fuck
it's only
silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs. Silvery barbs.
So you know, if a spell is again, and it doesn't matter if you cast Fireball on your turn, you can still cast a spell as a reaction because it's not on your turn. Okay, silvery barbs, shield. They're two of the ones that you'll probably use the most.
Yeah.
Absorb elements. That's also a reaction, which is a common spell that you might use. A lot of abilities can come on reaction. We did the druid video last week, and we did our top 3. Remember the stars druid? If you don't, you shouldn't be watching this one. You should be watching that one.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
You fool.
You fool.
Get on out of here.
Fool of a toque.
Yeah.
Remember that druid got the Wheel or Woe special ability, so you got a special reaction.
Yep.
So some classes, some subclasses will give you like special reactions to use on your turn.
Yep.
So a good way to just optimize your character is to not have too many things clogging up each thing. So don't have too many bonus actions. Don't have too many reactions. Don't have too many actions. You want to sort of like be like, right, I've got enough bonus actions. Where else can I spread my shit?
Yeah, that's you know what, and that's something that later on in game you probably will find. Your bonus action is probably contested for.
Very highly contested.
Very highly contested.
Bonus actions get clogged up very easily.
Yeah, but you know, that's something that you will learn with experience 100%. And also, the last thing that we didn't talk about as an action is if you're dashing.
Yes, you can dash as an action as well.
You can dash. So you need to get something and it's 50 feet away from you, but you only have 30 movement. You can use all of your movement and you can use your action to use your movement again.
Yeah, to use your movement up to 30 feet, up to 35,
so you
whatever it is.
Essentially double it to 60.
Yeah, the only person if you've got a rogue in your group and they say, I'm going to bonus action dash, you can't do that.
You can't do that unless you're a rogue. I'm so sorry.
Everybody wants
sorry.
to, but the only way you can use a bonus action to move again is if you're a monk and you use Step of the Wind.
Yep.
Or you are a rogue and you use your cunning action to dash.
Terribly sorry.
You fighter. You barbarian.
You
wizard.
You can't have it. I'm so sorry.
You gotta use your action.
I know. We want it. We want it so bad.
A multi-class and a rogue.
That's such is life. So those are really, honestly, those first 3 tips. Those are the very mechanical basics, the terms, the lingo, the dice, etc.
Yeah.
The rest of these tips are more for you as a person.
You.
This is
I
just
can see you.
Some little bits of advice,
That's all the really complicated
That's
stuff.
the really complicated stuff done.
The rest of this is just what we would recommend.
Yeah, these are just some tips and tricks for you as a person.
You take a break if you need to.
Have a
Pause
break.
the video.
How are you doing?
But
I know that was a lot.
We need the algorithm,
Yeah, please, God, come back.
Okay, what's next, babe?
So, tip number 4 is don't overcomplicate it.
Do not overcomplicate it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you went on YouTube to look at how to play the wizard, and I know that someone was like,
you've seen some cracked fucking
somebody
shit.
was like, what you need to do is you need to multiclass the warlock and the sorcerer together so you don't have to sleep, so you get unlimited spell slots. And that sounds great.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds great. I know everyone was like, druids and wizards are super fucking awesome because they can do this and that, but they are complicated.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. The people who make those guides, oh my God, 10 out of 10, chef kiss.
I listen to them all day.
You are wonders of this world, right?
Yeah.
But I would not... You have so much to remember as a beginner, honestly.
I'm not going to tell you to go watch D&D Optimized and take one of Colby's builds and do it, because he'll multi-class 3 different things together and do it in a really like nuanced way to get the most out of everything.
Because he is masterful in terms of that. And he's very, very, very experienced.
Very smart. And he's very cool.
And we're not saying that you're not.
And we're not saying that you're not.
But just, and again, you can take this with a grain of salt, honestly. If you really want to do that, then you can. But just know, if you are going in as a newbie to the game, who hasn't experienced the game yourself, who doesn't really know what the stuff means and what multiclassing really means, do be prepared to, outside of the game, have to put some work into understanding that. And that's fine. If you want to do that, oh my God, I'm jealous of you. I wish I could do that.
If you want to go straight into the wizard, if you want to go straight into the druid, maybe some of the more like complicated classes, like if you're willing to put the work in and begin to understand it, do it.
100%.
But if you're not, and you have all of those things that we just previously mentioned to understand as well, go with a barbarian.
Yeah, basics are good.
Go with a fighter.
The basics are good.
Go with a rogue.
Yeah.
Like, go with just like like all of these things on the internet that are like, this is the most damage you will ever get out of a turn and stuff like that. They're sick, but 99% of people don't play like that.
And they're super convoluted and difficult to pull off because you have to have the knowledge. Yeah. And again, I hope this isn't patronizing for us to say, right? We don't want to patronize you. We know you're smart and intelligent and
you got
brilliant
brain,
at what you do. You got a huge brain.
You got a massive big brain.
But the basics are good.
The basics are good.
I would always recommend starting with the basics. But hey, I also, for my second character, I picked the druid. Yeah. It was difficult at first, but I love the druid. Yeah. I'm a druid main now. I fucking love the druid. And had I not done it, I wouldn't have found something I love.
Yeah.
So I would just be prepared. If you're not going for something that's super basic, you're following a guide that you saw on the internet, just be prepared outside of the game to do a bit more work for it. That's all. And seriously.
I'm telling you, like, you sit here and you hear me say how like the monk could do with some help, and like the wizard's sick and the druid's sick and stuff like that. In a normal campaign with people who just like to pick a class, maybe multi-class here and there, just play for the flavor of it, and it's nothing like too optimizy, you're gonna stand on your own 2 feet with, I would say, 99% of the classes and subclasses in the game.
Totally.
There are a couple that are shit, but again, they're only going to get their flaws really highlighted against these really optimized characters.
Exactly.
So just play what you want. Honestly, classes that I would recommend for first-time players, if you want to play a spellcaster, the Warlock's great.
Totally.
It's got 2 spell slots that come back in a short rest, and you always cast them at the highest level. They're really, really awesome, blasty, do loads of damage, not massively complicated. Barbarian. Fighter.
Yeah.
Fucking ranger, super class. Super awesome, super flavorful. They're going to hold up most of the time.
Agreed.
Against every other class.
Yep, very much
You're not going to get left behind or anything like that. And they aren't overly complicated.
Yep.
Okay?
Very, very, very much so agreed. You get into the realms of things like prepared spellcasters. That is a druid, that is a cleric, that is a bard. I think that's an artificer as well, right?
Is it the bard?
Is it the bard?
The wizard.
Am I thinking artificer instead of bard?
A wizard, cleric, druid, all those like prepared spellcasters.
Yeah. You hear a lot of people saying, don't play a spellcaster for your first character. I disagree with that. I think play whatever you want, but just be prepared with something that is a spellcaster. There is going to be a bit more work to it.
Be a little bit more, like,
but it's going to be rewarding and it's going to be worth it.
The barbarian doesn't have to prepare their spells every day.
Yep.
They just wake up, make sure they don't run out of rages, and smash it with their sword or their hammer or their axe.
It's real nice.
And then with a spellcaster, if you're a prepared spellcaster, you get to pick your spells every day. So if you know you're going into a swamp, you can switch your spells out or something like that.
Exactly.
If you know we're going somewhere really cold, we're going to like prepare some fire spells to keep our spells warm.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You just got to take those things into consideration. You might need to do a little bit more work, but if you're happy to do it, I don't think there's anything that's off the table for a first-time player.
No, of course not.
If they're willing to do the work.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely, fully agree. So, to be honest, don't overcomplicate it. Also kind of bleeds into away from the mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff like your backstory.
Yeah.
Like, you do not have to come up with some groundbreaking, never seen before, intricate family tree backstory if you don't want to.
Look at last Monday's episode. Lounging Lima, a absolute OG of this podcast, loved fairy dragons, her character. That's it.
Yep, love fairy dragons.
Loves fairy dragons. That's it. And, the whole journey was to, like, get a fairy dragon of their own, and then, like, their outlook changed on life because they had this pet that turned into a daughter, and, you don't need War and Peace, political intrigue, backstory of, like, assassinations, and you were a god kid. You don't need that.
But if you want that, that's cool. That's cool as fuck too.
But don't feel like you need it for your first one.
Don't think, you hear in D&D media all these amazing backstories that come to fruition. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
And you know what? The simple stories are just as rewarding. Truly, they are just as rewarding. The tropes are good for a reason. Because they're amazing. Last episode, we talked about in the session, you gave us a Lord of the Rings moment.
Yeah.
Super simple. That's a trope.
Every
Lovely.
single one of you, apart from Matthew, apparently, because he doesn't watch Lord of the Rings for some stupid...
Unbelievable.
Everybody
Pain.
Call him out. Call him out in the comments. Call him out in the comments.
No, don't do that.
I had the Lord of the Rings moment where you bow to no one.
Yeah.
Like that. And
it's great for a reason.
Yeah, it's
Listen,
great for a reason.
It's great for a reason.
You can use those things because, if I've fucking watched it in Lord of the Rings, it's fucking good enough for me.
Yeah, amen.
In my D&D table.
Amen. Amen.
Another thing to not overcomplicate.
It's homebrew rules, baby.
Rules. Like, if I'm playing a game for a brand new set of players, I'm probably going to leave a lot of my house rules at the door.
Indeed.
So it doesn't overcomplicate things for them.
Yeah. Learning the system is a lot, right? Learning the system as it is and then adding the homebrew rules as you go in is...
the way to do it.
It is. Truly, it is. Now, am I saying get rid of the drinking a potion as a bonus action rule and leaving that? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, we can get into the realms of overcomplicating things with homebrew rules, especially with a new player.
Like having, I know there's rules out there, like, this is a complicated one. If you make a dexterity saving throw, like something from a fireball, when you've done the dexterity saving throw, that means you've had to move out of the space that the spell occupied, and that's how you saved from it.
Yeah.
Like, they're complicated rules.
Yeah.
Like, that we maybe don't need for a first-time player.
Yeah.
And they might be awesome to you because you've played the game and stuff like that, but, they might not be awesome for a first-time player because the first-time player doesn't understand why it's awesome or not anyway.
It's kind of there's the saying of, if you teach someone, like, all the tricks in the beginning, like, they don't know the basics.
They don't know the basics.
Yeah,
exactly.
don't teach them the way around. Teach them the basics.
Yeah.
And, again, that is so personal to everyone. Truly it is, but yeah. I would recommend that.
I would recommend it, but this is a video about recommendations.
Yeah,
not
of course.
Absolute, this is what you need to do.
There could be things we're saying here that you completely don't agree with and you don't need. Totally fair
It's
enough.
Fine.
Your D&D experience is so personal to yourself. Everyone does it so differently. If you find yourself disagreeing with what you're saying, that's normal. Don't worry about it. These are just recommendations.
And on this topic, don't overcomplicate it. It's a fucking complicated game.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get something.
Just ask. Just ask.
Ask your dungeon master. Ask the players around you.
100%.
There's so many rules, and maybe there's times where I don't understand the rules.
Yeah, we
Josh
still have,
does, or Matthew does,
100%.
or Margaret does.
We go to the Google a lot.
We hit the books.
We got
all the books right there. I can see them.
There's so many questions that we constantly ask, and we constantly have to look up.
Yeah.
That there is nothing wrong.
We've got multiple players' handbooks at the table.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having to get the answer. You're not going to know everything ever.
No.
So don't worry about it.
So don't be afraid to ask.
Indeed.
Ever.
So
that was tip number 4. Now tip number 5.
Tip number 5 is it is never too late to change your character, especially roleplay wise.
I couldn't recommend this more because let's be honest. You're thinking about playing D&D, aren't you? Mm-hmm. I know that's why you're here. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
You've watched Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Who's cool? Strider's cool.
What's Strider?
Strider's a bit of a lone wolf.
Bit of a lone wolf, isn't he? Bit of an edgelord,
I
isn't he?
see you. He's a bit of an edgelord.
Yeah.
Likes to sit in the corner and smoke his pipe.
Yeah, likes to observe.
Yeah.
Doesn't like to join in.
Yeah. Likes to keep himself to himself.
Yeah.
And every single one of us has made that character.
Yes,
and
we
every
have.
Single one of us has fucking regretted it.
Yes, we have.
Margaret.
Me. Listen to me. So I fell into this so badly with my first character. I've talked about it multiple times. My first character was a fucking bitch, right?
She was hard to get along.
She was insufferable. And it's because I fell into, and every new player does this, and if you don't, fucking kudos to you.
Yeah.
We all fall into the trap of making this really like elusive, mysterious lone wolf character who fends for himself and doesn't need friends.
Doesn't need friends? Why would I want friends?
Like, you go along with the party for your ulterior motive.
Because they're my tools.
Listen, when you're playing a collaborative story game, because that's what this game is.
It's fucking hard to do.
It's so hard. It's so hard to sit around a table of your friends who you know and you get along with, and then
they're all having loads of fun.
Yeah, pretending to be like a lone wolf character. The amount of situations that with my first character I excluded myself from.
You left yourself out of.
And it's like, yeah, my character is in a different room to them. I'm not. I'm still sat at the table.
Yep.
I am sat with all my friends having fun, and I can't join in because my character's a lone wolf.
And
do you know what I mean?
Look, you can play the lone wolf well.
You can.
You can.
And,
but a little word of recommendation is maybe not for your first character.
Yeah.
Experience D&D how it's supposed to be experienced, which is a bunch of fucking fun with your mates.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're leaving yourself out of all the role-playing situations, you're going to have less fun.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
And you can do what Margaret did. Mm-hmm. And what Margaret did was she got in the car with me one day and she was like, I fucking hate I'm playing Beloved. I feel like I'm leaving myself out of all these situations. So I said to you, didn't I? I said, just change.
Just change it.
Have a change.
Because first of all, no one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares if you are having a bad time as a player and it's because of how you're playing your character. No one cares if you change how your character is.
No.
Absolutely not at all.
No one's going to be like, what are you doing that for? You're not allowed
no
to do
one
that.
cares.
It's character development.
Yeah, no one cares.
Margaret's character's walls broke down. She let us in, and it ended up being an awesome moment.
Yeah, it did.
Did it go on for a little bit too long?
Definitely.
Potentially.
Definitely.
And, but it was fine. And if I was to play a lone wolf character, it's allowed to be a lone wolf, but it can't be a lone wolf forever.
Yeah.
That's why you're in a party.
Indeed. And you know what? You have to, absolutely have to find a reason to stay with your party. If you don't have a reason to stay with your party, then there's no point in you working together at all. You have to work together in this game.
It's like, I'm not like, it's like a Matthew off or anything like that, but in my first campaign, his character sometimes did suffer a little bit from not having a reason to stay with the party. And I mentioned it to him and he was like, you're right. So his character just like gained a motivation to stay with the party.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
The one thing I will say to every new player is, like, if the Dungeon Master's dangling an adventure in front of you, you need to find the reason to go on an adventure.
Exactly.
Not your Dungeon Master, because your Dungeon Master doesn't have fucking time to do that.
Yeah, you need to find a reason.
Doesn't have an individual reason for each of you to go on it. You need a reason to go on the adventure.
Yeah, no, indeed. And that's the fun of the game. And you know what? You can create a character, completely forge them from the ground up, right? You're going to get to your table, you're going to get into the session, especially if you've never played before, and I'm telling you, your character will most likely change in that environment.
100%.
Like, I do, maybe I'm projecting, but I do this all the time. I come up with a really solid character concept, we get to the table, we meet everyone else, and in real life, you kind of fill the gap in what the party is missing.
Yeah.
And your character will be shaped by the people around them. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I am like culprit 101 for this. My first character was supposed to be edgy because, you know, it was my first character and that's what I wanted to do. And then I turned up to the fucking thing and I was comic relief because that's what I do best. And, you know, like...
Edgelord was already filled.
Yeah, Edgelord was filled, sadly. You know, like, I am dad of the group. I am comic relief of the group. They're the fucking roles I fill best because that's what I'm best at doing.
Agreed.
So, you know, when I turn up to the group, I just have, you know, my backstory and my voice and my sort of like temperament of how I would handle myself. And then I just sort of fill the role that the group wants me to.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong
you
with
are
that.
not letting yourself down and you're not letting your character down by them changing in the game. And listen, right? The character you start with is not going to be the same character at the end of the campaign.
Never.
Not a single chance.
If it is, you haven't had any character development.
Yeah. Hey, think about yourself 5 years ago. I shudder to think at the thought, but
5 years ago, you're all right.
Oh yeah,
maybe 10. Yeah.
10 years ago.
Same.
Ugh.
10 years ago, same. You know, like you're a different person.
Yeah.
And you know, you're gonna go on adventures and fight monsters and meet people and probably do things that you would never be able to do on your own.
Yeah.
So your character, by the end of the campaign, should and probably will be a completely different person to the first time they meet you.
Shaped by the experiences that they've had.
Don't be afraid to change.
Don't be afraid to change. And again, you know, kind of the point of this section is, if you are playing your character and for whatever reason you as a person are not enjoying it, it is never too late to change how your character acts.
And okay, when it comes to the other part of the game, the mechanical side of the game, you picked a class and you're not too happy with it. It's a little harder to do it, but I would talk to your dungeon master and say, look, I'm a first-time player, picked a class, and I'm not enjoying it.
Don't like it.
I would like to change. Most dungeon masters in that instance would understand that you're a new player, and you picked something that you didn't understand how it was going to work, and now you want to change, and they're going to be fine with it.
They will probably let you change. Now, again, there are some that won't. There are some that won't. And that's not for us to comment on.
No.
But if you're not enjoying it with anything, go to your dungeon master and talk to them. They might let you change. Now, let's say you don't want to completely change your class. Your DM won't let you change your class. Multi-classing is an option.
Multi-classing is an option.
Multi-classing is always an option.
Always an option. So you can. It is again a optional rule, but most tables allow it.
Most tables allow it.
If you're maybe not happy with how it's going, you can multi-class. If you're a warlock, you can be a warlock bard or a warlock rogue or a warlock fighter. You know, you can be 5 levels in warlock, 1 level in fighter, and then just level up as a fighter from there. If that's what you want to do, be prepared that you will need to do a little bit of homework.
Yeah.
And you will need to do some extracurricular studies to find out how that class works and things like that.
But multi-classing is a whole lot of fun.
But it is an option.
Yep.
If you cannot change your class.
Definitely.
Yeah? So just remember that.
Definitely.
You're never stuck.
No,
okay?
No, you're not. No, you're not. Your character's fluid just like you are.
Exactly.
So, tip number 6.
Tip number 6
is think about what your character would do.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear people being like, that's what my character would do. No.
Get out of here.
No. Get out of here. Get out. Go. Shoo. You will hear this as well. You know what? We should have put that into terms you'll hear often. It's what my character would do.
That's what my character do is a fine term if you use it not to do what you want to do and be an asshole.
Yes.
Okay?
Now, what we mean by what would your character would do, it is you as a person putting yourself in your character's headspace.
Correct.
Now, that doesn't mean you have to roleplay. That doesn't mean you have to put on a voice.
No.
That doesn't mean anything other than you understanding what your character's goals are, what their mannerisms are, and how they would react to something in front of them.
A lot of people find a song, think of a phrase, think of a space, imagine their hometown as the character to get into their headspace.
Yeah.
And I think that is a great thing to do.
Some people create a mood board. Dana in our community has created
mood boards.
Mood boards for 2 of our characters now, and they've been amazing. And that is an exercise that you can partake in to feel a bit closer to your character and maybe get in their headspace a little bit more. But any situation you're presented with, just think, how would my character react to this?
Yeah.
And I promise.
Not me, not Jack, not Margaret, Jasper, Rayla, Willow. How would they react?
Yeah. You will have so much more of a, I guess, like a richer experience if you try to stay true to who your character is and what they would do.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's not being an asshole and murder hoboing everyone.
Yeah, that's what my character would do.
Don't do that.
Get out of here, you.
But, if someone makes you a proposition and maybe it's a little bit dodgy, a bit shady, what would your character do?
Yeah.
Would they go, fuck yeah, I'm in? Or would they go, that's a bit weird, I'm reporting you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then that also bleeds into, I've said it a million times before, if you've been here for a while, you will know that when it comes to combat, I love to think about how my character acts.
Yes.
Are they fierce? Do they run in wildly with their great axe and smash things up? Are they a protector? Do they want to get in front of their allies to protect them from the enemies? Are they a bit scared? Do they sort of take a little bit of cover and watch and, think about how your character would act in a dangerous situation?
Yeah.
Because combat's fucking scary.
It is. No, it is. Totally.
Having loads of little goblins run at you at level 1 isn't what
Icky.
you want. It's nasty. It's scary.
It's nasty. It's weird.
So, you got to think about what your character would do in combat.
Yeah.
And then that also bleeds into what Margaret said, like the social situations as well. It's not just the role play when you sit and talk to your friends. It's role play is what you do in combat as well.
Yeah.
Like how you swing your sword. Have you been doing it for years? Does it look wild as if you're new to this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Think about those things.
Does your character rush straight in? Does your character want to protect someone? Do you know what I mean? There are so many things to think. And again, it's all to build yourself a richer experience. And I think, D&D is a role-playing game. There is a role-playing aspect. And you don't have to be a world-class role player to be able to get into your character's headspace.
You don't even need to do a voice or anything like that.
You don't.
Like, voices are quite a advanced role-playing thing, something that you have to be quite comfortable to do. So don't think that that's the only thing that defines. To me, if I had a player that had a voice but never thought about what their character would do, or I had a player that didn't do a voice but only thought exactly as their character, I'd much prefer the second player.
Yeah.
Because thinking about what our characters do is more important than how they speak, like what their voices are. 100% thinking about how they act and their mannerisms and how they interact with this person of the group and that person of the group is more important.
Totally. And you know what? The most important thing in how your character would act is how do they interact with their party? Yeah. Like, that is the most important thing. Listen, you're going to be with your party.
Are they a lone wolf?
Yeah, are they a lone wolf? In which case, think about that. But, you're going to be with your party your whole game, right? That's not going to change. That is the constant.
Yeah.
How does your character react with them?
Yeah.
Are
they closer to certain members?
Yeah.
Do they maybe a little bit standoffish at the beginning with that one?
Yeah. Do they have a prejudice against someone for whatever reason?
Yeah.
Do those walls get broken down?
Yeah.
Do they have a really strong moral alignment that they will not shake for anything?
Not swear, yeah.
Does someone be the complete opposite?
Looking at you, paladins.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And all of that together will build, hopefully a richer experience for you. Again, if that's not something you care about, don't worry about it.
I'd have you think about it, though.
Definitely. I would try it. I would try it.
Yeah.
100%.
That's good.
Agreed.
I like that.
Yeah.
What a fucking fantastic podcast. Right?
Yeah.
Great podcast.
Wow. Yeah. Would you rate 5 stars?
5 stars on Spotify, right?
Nice.
Right?
Nice. Great. So, tip number 7. Do not be afraid to fail.
We talked about this heavily, actually, last episode.
Yeah, we did.
Failures can define campaigns.
Amen.
Failures can define characters. Like, having a death in the party can, really affect people.
100%.
Like, failing in a moment that a dungeon master sets up for you that is like a 50-50, that can really shape your character.
Yeah, agreed.
You're playing a dice-based game.
Yeah.
It's got 20 sides, this baby. Yeah.
You're going to fail.
At some point, you're going to fail. At some point, you're going to have all the modifiers. You're going to have a +10, and you still roll...
a 1. Or you roll 17.
But you might roll a 1, and you cannot be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't chuck your toys out the pram. Don't get upset. Embrace it. Failure can be just as good as success, and sometimes.
It totally.
Lounging Lemur said in the last one. That was a perfect example. Like, she wanted a fairy dragon, desperately wanted a fairy dragon. Failure, 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 failure. So when that success came,
it felt so much better for it.
The sweetness of that success was way more because of the failures that preceded it.
Absolutely. And it's like that in life, right? It's like try, fail, try.
Yeah, like if you get everything right on the first time, doesn't feel great.
Doesn't feel rewarding.
Dark Souls. Any Souls game.
100%.
The reason why that game feels good is because you tried 100 times and failed.
And then you learned from each time you failed.
Exactly. And like, look, you're not going to fail 100 times in a row.
No, no. Well, I really hope not for you.
Don't let a failure upset you.
Yeah.
Let your character learn from it.
Listen, it sucks. It sucks. Failing sucks. Of course it does. That's human nature. But there's two ways to deal with it. You can either wallow in it, or you can and let it define your character, or you can try and turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
You can learn from it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, okay, maybe you've went to attack this monster and you missed. That feels bad.
Yeah.
You've got next time.
Yeah.
And then next time you hit.
And the other 100 combats you're going to have in the campaign.
Exactly. Do not let it define your character. Do not let their failures define them in a negative way. Let them define them in a positive way.
My character in the first campaign, Nephmaros, went up against Orcus, the Prince of Hell, the Blood Prince himself.
His patron.
My patron, someone I'd been avoiding the entire campaign, and it was this moment I had to face him and face my fears and face everything that my character stood for. And you want to know what happened? I missed almost every attack. And I was like, what did I say? I was like, this is the moment where I was supposed to shine the brightest, and I look like a pair of dusty old boots because I couldn't hit anything because the dice wouldn't let me. But I roleplayed it as if like the moment was too much for me.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get stroppy and I didn't get sulky, and you know, I just let it be a moment, and my friends around me had to like lift me up and help me.
Yeah.
And like that was a moment where I could have chucked my toys out the pram, but I let failure like be a role-playing moment.
Yeah, totally. And you know what? Fucking perfect example of this in the Nidhogg fight that we just had. Abby rolled like shit. Listen, rolled like absolute dog shit trash. I'm so sorry, Abby.
It was dreadful.
She couldn't hit anything.
She didn't roll over 10 the entire fight. It was really bad.
She actually came out of it being like, it sucked, but do you know what? It worked out great, because her character is kind of going through like a separation with her god at the minute. And she was like, every single attack I tried was radiant damage, and it failed. So she turned it into
a storyteller,
like a story beat for her character, where she's desperately trying to tap into this radiant power from her god.
It's just not working.
It's been taken away from her.
It's just not working.
So there's...
And like, that's great ways to take failure and make it a story moment.
Absolutely.
Make it, you know, like if in the first combat, in your first session, that's why you're watching this video, right? You miss an attack. It's maybe the first fight they've ever done.
Yeah.
They're struggling, they're quaking, they're scared.
Yeah.
Like, let it be that storytelling moment. It's nice to turn failure into something like that, because it doesn't. First of all, it doesn't feel as bad, because we understand that failure feels bad,
and you have to do it, because you're gonna fail time and time again. You're gonna fail. It's just part of the game.
The clickety clackities.
Yep. Sometimes they're not in your favor.
Yeah, sometimes we roll them for that reason.
And listen, sometimes failing can be the funniest fucking parts of this game.
100%.
Oh my god. The funniest moments, I am not kidding you, is when you want to do something and you fail, and it's terrible.
And it just turns into a goofy role-playing moment.
Exactly.
When you try and persuade someone and like you like choking a bit, you spit.
Yeah, it's the best. It's honestly.
And you piss everywhere.
When you piss everywhere, you spit in the shopkeeper's face.
Throw back to last episode.
Yeah. Honestly, don't be afraid to fail. You will fail. Don't let it define you.
Don't let it define.
Yeah, indeed. So, number 8. It is a team game. It is a collaborative storytelling game, and you must play it as such.
There are systems that are even more based on storytelling. You know, like role-playing isn't like there's a role-playing section in the book, and it just sort of tells you, we recommend this, we recommend that. D&D is very heavily based around the numbers.
Yep.
But most tables role-play 50-50.
Yeah.
Or even more. And
yeah,
ours is like a 75-25 in terms of role-play combat.
I would say so, yeah.
So, you know, like, it's a collaborative game. You aren't the only person sat around the table. My table, there's 4 people. Your table, there might be 8 people. There might be 2 people, but there's still more than 1.
Yep.
You got to remember that.
You are all the main characters together. You have to let each other shine. I'm going to do it. I'm going to... Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship, right? All the main character.
Every single one.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been The Fellowship without them.
No.
Every single person had their own important part to play.
Frodo doesn't make it without Sam.
Exactly.
You know? Frodo doesn't make it if Boromir doesn't give himself up.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's got a part to play, and you've got to let every single person... We all want to tell our story.
Yeah.
You're excited.
Yeah.
But you're going to have chance between session 1
To
and
the
session
end.
100 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're going to have a moment to shine.
You will.
The Dungeon Master's going to grab that spotlight one day, and he's going to shine it in your face.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be your turn to dance. And just be ready for it.
Yeah. And you know what? Revel in your friends' backstories.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best advice I can give you.
Lift them up.
Enjoy the moment with them. They're your friends.
Because they'll enjoy the moment with you.
Exactly.
If you enjoy the moment with them.
If you go out of your way to, in your friends' characters' arcs, to ensure that they are spotlight, they are doing the thing, they will do the same for you.
Of course they will, yeah.
And I can attest to that 100%.
Yeah, Margaret's had a lot of that recently.
Yeah, my character's backstory was the last in the backstory arcs through every single one. And all of us are great at this, by the way, for lifting each other up in their own moments.
Like, this is your backstory. What do you want to do? This is your moment.
Simply, as simple as that. If you know there is a story beat happening that is relevant to one of your party members, if there's a decision, turn to them and just say, what does your character want to do?
What do you think?
I will support your character no matter what. And it's as simple as that, truly. Revel in those moments with your friends because they'll do the same for you. And don't hog the air.
Don't hog the limelight.
Don't take the spotlight.
If someone else is talking about their backstory, don't say, oh yeah, but my backstory this. It's like, listen.
And it's,
listen to each other.
It's easy. It's so easy. If people are having a chat and giving their backstories away, it's easy for you to want to jump the gun and do the same.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't share your backstory when it's being
absolutely.
shared, but just give everyone
the airtime. Give everyone the airtime.
Your whole game will benefit so much from doing that together.
100%.
And hey, we touched on this before, right? You need to find a reason to work together.
You have to.
You have to.
It's a collaborative storytelling game. If you don't want to work with the other people in the party, you might as well not be part of the party.
Yeah, you might as well not be playing the game.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Like, seriously. The thing I fucking say to my players more than anything, I don't care if you give me no backstory. I don't care if you're playing the shittest class in the game. As long as you turn up and you attempt to be part of the team, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Get along with each other. Find a reason to
stay.
Find a reason to adventure.
Yep.
Find a reason to go on the adventure.
Yep.
Find a reason to be friends with these people.
Yep.
Even if it's to use them at the beginning, but then you realize they're all beautiful people who you couldn't live without. Like, you need a reason to be part of the team.
You don't have to be friends from the get-go. You're probably not going to be friends from the get-go. You're probably going to be strangers.
Yeah.
But you have to find a reason to stick together. And you know what? I say it's a collaborative storytelling game. It's for your DM as well.
Yeah.
If your DM throws you a plot point, if they're saying there's a mysterious man in the corner, right? Take the bait.
Yeah.
Go along with it.
If your character's like, nah, I want to go and find the king that I need to assassinate right now, it's like, you're not collaborating.
Yeah. If
you need
you're
to collaborate.
Totally. And if your DM is setting up a story beat, like saying, oh, there's the town to the left that's shrouded in clouds, don't go, oh, I'm going to go shopping then.
I'm going to go up here to this town instead. It's like, your Dungeon Master's setting it up.
Yeah, take the bait.
Take the bait. There's a story to be told there, and that's why they're doing it.
It's not railroading. You will enjoy it so much more if you just take the bait and go with it.
Difference between railroading and pushing your characters in the right direction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we all, finally on this bit, we all heard it. We all heard of main character syndrome. It's so easy to do.
So easy to fall into the trap of.
You are the main character, but so is everyone else.
So is everybody else on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Not just you.
You are special.
Margaret is, Matthew is, Josh is, Abby is. They are all the main characters in this story.
Together.
All of them.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, on to the penultimate.
I briefly just mentioned it. You need to listen.
Yeah. And you know what? This sounds like a given, right?
Sounds like a given.
Listening. Yeah, of course you have to listen, but you have to listen.
Like, you're trying to do all of the things above, and you try to remember all of the things that you need to roll and all of this and that, and it can get overwhelming. But when you're not in combat and your DM's not asking you to roll anything and you're just role-playing, the most important thing I can say to you today, the most important thing that you can take from this fucking video is if you're in a heavy roleplay based, even if you're in a moderately roleplay based game, listen to each other, because there might be something that relates to your backstory in their backstory. If you're in my fucking campaign, all of the backstories
you're all connected
in some way.
Yeah.
So you need to listen to each other, because they might say something that's important to you.
Yep.
They might say something important about the town that you're going to, that your backstory they might say it's burnt down and you're like, that's my hometown.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to listen to them, and for the fucking love of God,
listen to your DM.
Listen to your dungeon master.
Listen to your DM. And hey, you know, we live in a time now where a lot of games are online.
Yeah.
It can be so easy when you're sat in your own house and you're by yourself and you're on your headset. It can be easy to gravitate to move towards your phone. It can be easy to gravitate towards your computer. But I can't stress enough, you will be so much more immersed. You will be happier
so much more immersed.
If you stay in the game, if you stay focused, you stay listening. Everyone will have a better time.
Like, obviously, I'm only relating it to myself because I'm only speaking from my own experience.
Yeah.
Like, my players listen to me, and if they're listening carefully enough, they will hear things that help them in the story. They'll hear hints, they'll hear descriptions, they'll hear bits that they can relate back to main story beats, to how to defeat enemies, and how to persuade things. You know, like I said before, this is your first time here, you might not understand. They could have found out who the big, bad, evil guy in my campaign was way before I revealed it. If they listened carefully enough. It was a very hard hint to get.
Yeah.
And they were very far apart. But they were there, and I put them in there for a reason.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, listen to your dungeon master, because they might be giving you something very pertinent.
Totally.
And if you're just fucking around on your phone and you're not listening, you might miss it and be like, well, you didn't tell us that. And they might be like, I did.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not even necessarily messing around on your phone, right?
Yeah.
It's just things like there's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
And it can be easy to pull yourself out worrying about, oh, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Do try to listen, and I promise you'll get better at it.
You will.
You will. I promise you'll be able to multitask at it eventually.
Yeah.
Of course you will. But listen to DM. Man, the amount of hints that your DM will probably be dropping, and if you miss one, you could miss a whole piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, you could miss a whole piece of the puzzle.
You know, there could be things like solutions to problems.
Yeah.
There could be NPCs. There could be history.
In a description of a room, they might say something, and if you just didn't listen to that one bit, you might miss the key to the puzzle.
Exactly.
Because you weren't listening.
Exactly. They could be saying something pertinent to your backstory that you don't know is something about your backstory yet. So seriously, just listen. If you're a note taker, God bless you. We love you.
God bless you. We love you.
We tuck you in at night and kiss you on the forehead.
You are the Dungeon Master's favourite player. I'm telling you right now.
We do love a note taker.
We do love a note taker.
And you know what? Again, I know we say listen to your DM, listen to your fellow players.
Listen to your fellow players.
Listen to them.
If you're talking, I think you'd be pretty upset if people weren't listening to you. So you got to use that with the other people in your party.
Yeah, and you know what? It's super small things. Listen to. You could have such a wonderful moment if you listen to Jack's character. They are drinking something and they're like, oh, I don't like mangoes, right?
Yeah.
Next time you order a drink from them, you can make sure to not get them something. Do you know what I mean? That was a terrible example.
There could be like a plate of fruit that comes onto the table served up, and then you could say to the waiter, "Oh, do you mind if they don't get mangoes? They don't like mangoes." And then that person turns to you and says, "How do you know that?" And you say, well, "I heard you say it before."
Yeah, exactly.
Shit like that's just cute.
It is.
You know, like you could hear them say something in passing about like their deceased sibling or something like that. And then later on, when there's like a one-on-one, when you take and watch at night, you can say something like, "I'm really sorry for your loss," and they're like, "What?" And you're like, "You mentioned your like past sibling earlier."
Yeah.
You know, like that's a beautiful character moment.
It is truly
that you created.
Yeah,
because
truly.
you listened.
Because you listened. You could see something. They do something in combat. You can bring it up to them.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
I like to do that.
Yeah.
Like watch somebody do something like with their magic in combat. Or like they get out and they look longingly at their sword, and then you ask them a question like, "Is that a family heirloom or something like that?" Boom, conversation started.
And, that is a really good exercise as well, kind of off the topic, but if you want to engage yourself in more role play and you want to involve someone more, or you want to involve yourself more, ask simple questions like that.
Questions.
Pay attention to what your friends are saying, what they're doing. Bring it up in character.
Yeah.
You're going to have such deep, rich relationships with each other by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
yeah.
To be honest, listening is one of the most important things we could give to you here.
I said, when I said listen to Margaret yesterday when we were writing the notes, I put that's the most important one.
Well,
and it says at the top.
The most important.
Because it is.
It is.
It is.
Truly it is. You take it for granted. You think, obviously, I'm going to fucking listen, right?
Like, imagine if you're in combat, right? And you're trying to, like, hit something, and the Dungeon Master goes, oh, that just hits. Like, you just figured out the enemy's armor class because you were listening.
Yeah. Like, I can't stress enough, fucking pay attention in combat as well.
Pay attention
oh my God, pay attention in combat.
Listen in combat.
Yeah.
Listen.
It's so easy, again, when you're in a turn-based game, to not be listening to what the people around you are doing.
To do your go and be like, all right, I'm AFK until my go.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Listen to what your party is doing, because they might be setting you up to do something fucking cool.
Listen.
So, the very last tip we have. The finale. The ultimate. The
ultimate?
The ultimate. Because the penultimate is the ultimate, right?
Go for it.
Your first D&D group might not be your forever group.
It might not be the right group.
I know you might not want to hear that at this point.
Yeah.
And this is, by the way, not us saying, it's not going to be your last group. Hey, we played with Matthew, our best friend, for the first time. We will forever play with Matthew now. Yeah. Our first group was our forever group, but...
We got lucky.
I think...
But we've played in other groups that we just didn't jive with.
For whatever reason.
We just didn't groove with.
Yeah.
We just didn't, like, they didn't play the brand of D&D that we wanted to play.
Exactly.
And that might be the case for you.
Yeah.
But what you don't do is play it and then be like, well, that's what D&D is like, and it's rubbish, and I hate it, and I never want to play again.
Yep.
There is a very, very high chance that the first game you play in is not going to be your forever group.
Yep.
And you need to understand that sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's okay.
That's okay. You can be friends with someone and not play the same way they do, and that's because D&D is such a personal, such a specific thing for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything in life, right? Like, you like a genre of music, someone else might not, but they're still your friend.
It's still your friend. It's exactly like D&D.
Yeah, and I think this is, honestly, something that isn't told to new D&D players enough.
Yeah, 100%.
I think new D&D players, obviously, you don't know what style of gameplay you like at this point.
Yeah.
You might have an idea from watching D&D media, but you don't know.
You
won't know until you're at that table.
It's like case in point with me. I love Critical Role and I love Matthew Mercer, but as a Dungeon Master, if I tried to run a game like that slow burn political intrigue, sort of like taking and giving away, like, terrible. I'd be terrible at it, because that's just not the way I run my game.
Yeah, totally. And it's not said enough how you might not like the first way or the first couple ways you play D&D purely because you're not playing with the people. With the right people who have the same gameplay style as you.
100%.
And I promise there is going to be a table out there that is exactly what you want and need. I can't stress that enough. There's going to be a table for you, but do not let one experience, 2, 3, 4 experiences put you off D&D.
Yeah. There's a table out there.
There is.
That'll be perfect for you. That'll accept the way you play. That'll excite you.
Yep.
And when you get it,
it'll be so worth it.
It feels unreal. You'll look forward to every week.
Yep.
You will just be excited.
Yep.
The Dungeon Master the dog just yawned very strangely, very sorry. The Dungeon Master will describe something in a way that just gets you going.
Yeah.
And just gets your juices flowing.
And you'll know.
The combat will be tough and you'll be like, oh, this is very scary and exciting.
Yeah.
And the plot line will just hit you in a way that it's never hit you before, and you'll be like, this is it.
You will know.
And you'll get there. If the first game is the one that happens, good for you.
Amazing. That's what it was for us.
But if it doesn't, don't worry. You will find it.
You will. I promise you will. And again, you listen, you hear so often about horror stories. We cover horror stories on this channel.
All the time.
You hear about them, right? It's going to happen, but do not let it define your D&D career.
Yes.
Don't let one bad experience put you off. Yeah. And also remember, no D&D is better than bad D&D. If for whatever reason you are not enjoying yourself, you are sat at a table, you're not having fun, you're not looking forward to it, you're dreading it, it's a chore for you, leave.
It's not the right table for you.
Not the right table for you.
Go and find a table that is right for you.
And you can leave.
Doesn't make you feel that way.
Absolutely. D&D is a game. You play games to have fun. Yeah. Play games to relax.
You don't play games to stress yourself out. You don't play games to upset yourself. You don't play games. You don't... Oh, the dog's about to move the camera. Oh. We're back. Sorry about that. You don't play games. You don't get on your PC and play Diablo 4 because you want to stress yourself out. You don't go and sit down and play Valorant because you want to get upset. You do it because you enjoy it. So if you're playing Dungeons & Dragons and you're not enjoying it, it's not the right table.
Totally.
If you're dreading it, it's not the right table. If it's just not scratching the itch and you're just not getting out of it what you thought you would, it's not the right table.
Yeah, and the problem isn't you.
It's not you. Yeah,
it's not you.
It's just not the right table for you.
Yep.
There is a table out there that will fit you and you will enjoy.
So
find that table.
You're not bad at the game. You're not grasping it. It's not that it's not the game for you. Granted, hey, you might play D&D and fucking hate it just because you don't like the way the game's played.
Just because you don't like it.
There's so many other TTRPGs out there, but it's not you, and I promise, and this is not said enough, you just haven't found the right group yet.
100%.
That's all it is.
100%.
And that's it.
Thanks for coming to the Adventure Academy.
Yeah,
Dice, Dragons, and Discovery.
The Triple D.
It's
like Diners, Dragons, and Dives.
Guy Fieri?
Right? Yeah.
So
this is sponsored by Guy Fieri. So, you know what?
I hope you enjoyed your D&D 101 first session.
Yeah. How did that feel?
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I do genuinely believe going forward, and I would normally leave it to you to answer the question. I do. Yeah. Ugh! Entity, kill him. I do genuinely think the first bit we could have put in its own video by itself.
I agree. This is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
long.
I think going forward, the tip videos are going to be more like the latter end.
Yeah.
Things that we can give you as advice as players at the table. And then we're going to, going forward, go over a more beginner's guide mechanically. I think that's probably the best way to do it, right?
We're going to do like breakdowns of combat.
Yeah.
And we're going to do breakdowns of roleplay.
Yep.
And we're going to do breakdowns of stat blocks for monsters.
Yeah.
And how to design a combat and stuff like that. And we're going to just, we're going to go through portions of D&D and just break them down for you. Because it can be tough. Like, we can teach you all that, but then you get in the situation and you're like, why am I not doing the right thing? Because it's tough. Because you just learn from experience.
Totally.
And we've had enough and we can give you it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. Have it. And please, 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 it's so important when we're doing something like this. Give us your feedback.
Yeah.
Let us know what worked for you, what didn't work for you, if there's anything you would have changed.
What you liked, what you didn't like.
I say it all the time. I'll put a poll up. I promise I will put a poll up. And whatever you guys actually want, listen, by the time we record next, there won't be the results of the poll in yet, okay? But
you got to remember, we work a week in advance.
So not next Thursday's video, probably. The Thursday after that, we will do whatever you actually vote for. Please let us know. It's so important to us that you let us know if this worked for you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So
I enjoyed
guess fucking doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we hope that was helpful.
Welcome to insert name here.
Whatever
we decide on. And should I roll them out?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty conclusive.
Congratulations to Reverend Zach.
Yeah, we think it's Zach. Reverend Zach for your Homebrew Challenge win and entering the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
For everyone who's new here, we've got some merch if you want to buy a t-shirt in the link down below, www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk for a t-shirt.
You got it right.
We ship worldwide. It's £1.50 for worldwide shipping. Doesn't matter if you're in America or Australia or anywhere in the world, you can get yourself a t-shirt. Join the Discord in the link below. There are plenty of new campaigns that go on there. Dungeon Masters looking for players looking for Dungeon Masters.
Loads of people answering questions.
Loads of memes, loads of great discussions.
It's a great time.
Just a friendly community to be a part of. And yeah.
Roll them out.
If you liked it, hit the like button below. For the love of God, please do it if you liked it, and let us know that you enjoyed it. Comment down below, complimenting us on how fantastic this podcast was. Tell us your favorite part. What?
Nothing.
I don't mind asking.
No.
Comment down below.
Comment down below, you fools.
Hit the bell notification to be notified when we upload a video on a Wednesday, on a Monday and Thursday, not a Wednesday. And most of all, subscribe. I know most of you all are, but if you haven't and you were thinking about it, subscribe because it's free.
Yeah.
And I love you very much.
Oh, I love you too.
We've been the Eldritch Podblast. And we're going to see you on Monday.
Bye.